left side of the batter's eye, center field.
Welcome to Cary, North Carolina for the Division II Baseball Championship. We started with 8 teams. We are down to 2 for a national championship. Central Missouri, a team that has won 2 titles, against Wingate, a team that has never won the national championship. Alongside Lincoln Rose, I'm Joe Castellano. And Lincoln, we've been here all week. There have been a lot of thrills, and now we get to see a Central Missouri team that won its first 2 games, and they had to fight a little bit to get here against a Wingate team that lost its first game. They've won 4 in a row to get to the title game.
Yeah, for Central Missouri, looking to win their first national championship since 2003. It would be their first under their current successful head coach, Colin Crooks. Of course, Wingate, you mentioned just the short trek down the road, and we have a fantastic crowd to take in this final baseball game of 2021.
It's the #1 team in the country in Central Missouri against the number 16 ranked team in Wingate. They have certainly been an underdog, and they are trying to be the first team to lose an opener and then win the championship in the D2 championship since 2005. Florida Southern did that. It's only happened 3 times in the 8-team format. It really is hard when you get into that loser bracket, but they lost their first game to Angelo State, and they have rebounded by beating Southern New Hampshire, beating Seton Hill, and then they were able to double up 2 wins in a row against Angelo State. They got really good starting pitching. They endured a 3.5-hour rain delay. It was really remarkable for them to get here.
But here's why this year might be the year. Again, the closest we saw most recently was UC San Diego, but they ran out of pitching when it was all said and done to Westchester over in Grand Prairie, Texas. But Wingate this week has had 3 pitchers that has chewed up the vast majority of the ball game, saving their bullpen. But that's not even the kicker. Wingate has not gone back to their day 1 pitcher all week long. And that's because he's been in the lineup swinging a bat as one of their offensive heroes. Hunter Dula is available today. And unlike any other year you have to imagine, the reason why it's hard to come back to that elimination bracket is a lack of pitching. The Bulldogs have their man on the mound.
Yeah, there is Dula, who will start to warm up. Meanwhile, Central Missouri, they won their first game easily against Northwest Nazarene 9-3. They beat up on Tampa 8-4. They had a couple of days off, but then when there was rain and there were delays, they had to wait around a lot, and they were beaten pretty badly yesterday by Tampa. They came back and won 3-1 against Tampa in a game that started yesterday and finished earlier today. And now here they are trying to win the national championship. They're coached by Kyle Crooks. Let's check the starting lineup for the Central Missouri Mules, who have won 16 of their last 17 games. Josh Schumacher will lead it off. Schumacher in left field. Eric Webb will bat second. Webb, who has 4 home runs in this tournament, is in right field. Dusty Stroop bats third. Stroop at third base. Garrett Pennington hitting cleanup. Pennington at first base. Donovan Ditto is hitting 5th. Ditto is at second base. Micah Evans hitting 6th. Evans in center field. Alex Madera bats 7th. Madera the shortstop. Brennan Van Bruce again, who has not really played much in this tournament, is hitting 8th. Van Bruce again, who only has 27 at-bats all year, is the DH. And Gavin Strobel, who also hasn't played much, is batting 9th. Strobel is the catcher for Colin Jones. And they will face Hunter Dula, who's taking his warm-up tosses. In the first outing in this tournament, he actually took the loss as he worked 3 1/3 innings, gave up 3 earned runs and 5 hits. Did not pitch all that well in that Sunday opener against Angelo State.
Yeah, against Angelo State, actually it did not last long, but ultimately, offensively, has rebuilt some of his confidence. And we've seen all of the starting pitchers after him give him a chance to hold off until today to take the mound again.
Josh Schumacher in the box to lead off the game, hitting .399 on the year, 7 homers, 40 RBIs, 3 for 17 here in Cary. And we are ready to go, the national championship game, as Hunter Dula into the wind, and we are underway. A fastball high, ball 1, 1-0.
Well, it's a Central Missouri team that's hitting .295 this week. Only Angelo State left Cary hitting better with a .338 clip. Wingate, 4th best batting average this week, hitting .264 as a team.
Dula deals, the pitch in the dirt, 2-0. It's 79 degrees at game time. Bright sunshine, a really good crowd on hand for the championship. We have had a lot of good attendance throughout the week.
Now Schumacher at the plate this week, a little surprisingly, just hitting 176. 3 for 17 with just a couple runs scored, and yet they're still here in the national championship.
Fly ball foul and out of play on the left side. 2-1 to Schumacher. We have 6 umpires for the championship game. It is Ray Chamberlain behind the plate, the crew chief, Brian Herzog at first, Mike Anderson at second, Sean Howard at third. And then we have the left field umpire, Warren Nicholson, and the right field umpire, Kirk Rawl. 2-1 pitch in the dirt, 3-1.
Yeah, first time we have umpires down the line, but congratulations to the 6 individuals selected to work this championship.
Dula, the junior from Troutman, North Carolina. This Wingate team coming from 128 miles away, hoping to win its first ever national championship. 3-1 to Schumacher, high ball 4. So the leadoff man is on for Central Missouri.
Well, again, both teams sitting on a loss throughout the week. Central Missouri found their first loss yesterday, so that means it is all right here in this ball game. One game to take it all. Every team across the country in Division II envying these 2 programs still playing on this final day. And a nice start by the Mules, getting their leadoff man on.
Here is Eric Webb hitting .339 on the year, 19 homers, and 4 of them have come here in Cary, including an inside the park homer, and he bluffs a bunt here, 1-0. He has 56 RBIs. So all of his home runs have been solo shots. He has a runner on here, but he might be asked to bunt. We'll see if he does that again.
Only Drew Earhart of Tampa hit multiple home runs this week other than Eric Webb, who again, as you noted, cleared the outfield wall 3 times but touched them all 4 times.
Homered earlier today in that win against Tampa. Bluffs a bunt here and takes a strike, 1-1. Dusty Stroop is on deck. The outfield has Jed Bryant, Justin Guy, and Cameron Carraway from left to right for the Bulldogs. Michael Dansky at third. Carson Simpson is the shortstop. He's played well defensively. McCann Mellett at second. Andrew Mckay at first. And Logan McNeely, who has done a great job behind the plate and at bat for Wingate in this tournament. He's the catcher. Pitch down and in, 2-1 to Webb.
And Webb hitting .400 this week, as 4 of his 6 hits home runs.
Dula will throw a fastball 92 to 94 miles an hour. Also has a slider, a curveball, and a changeup. Checks first base, deals to Webb, and that one misses a little bit inside, I think. 3-1. Dula normally was the number 3 starter during the season, but became the number 1 starter here. Started the opener, and here he is in the national championship game. And with the bat, he has been so valuable. Hit a big home run, and then, of course, we've been talking about the incredible clutch hit he had to win a game after we had the long rain delay. Ground ball third base, off the glove of Dansky. Recovers, throws to first, close play, got him. Well, that could have been a double play ball. Instead, it's just 1 out, and he's fortunate to get that as Schumacher goes to second.
Yeah, nice composure after the bobble by Dansky, able to recover, realize he still has time if he can throw a strike. And able to still make this throw from foul territory. Good recovery, does not get the double play, but again, it could have been worse, as you noted. Does manage to get 1 out.
Dula, who beat Angelo State on Thursday with his base hit after a 3.5-hour rain delay, he came up on the first pitch and delivered a base hit that won that game. That was an elimination game for Wingate, and they turned around the next day and beat Angelo State again in another thriller that went 11 innings. Here's Dusty Stroop, who has not driven in a run in this tournament, the number 3 hitter with a runner at second, and he swings and misses. 0-1 the count here with 1 out.
These 2 teams have been basically in 2 self-contained brackets that finally collide in this game, but that doesn't mean Central Missouri hasn't seen a lot of Wingate, because they have often been waiting for Wingate and Angelo State, their last 2 long meetings, to wrap up before they could take the field.
Yeah, they were sitting in the bus for a while waiting for that one game. Swing and a miss by Stroop. 91-mile-an-hour fastball. 0-2 to Dusty, who is an All-American player, but he's 3 for 16 here, and he has struck out 5 times in Cary. 4th player in Mules history with 20-plus home runs, as he's accomplished that this year.
Yeah, hitting 188 this week.
five-tool player, according to his head coach, Kyle Crooks, who's coaching at third base. 0-2 pitch fouled back, and it remains 0-2 to Dusty. Stroop is a redshirt senior, one of those COVID seniors, as the careers were extended for so many players that we've seen in this tournament this week.
Yeah, for the next few years, we'll be mentioning the exception made.
Outfield straight away. There's no wind right now, really, to affect anything. Dula ahead 0-2 on Stroop. Check second, and he deals. Fastball fouled straight back. 92 miles an hour. It remains 0-2 to Stroop.
Wingate was not even a part of the NCAA postseason back in 2019. Last time we had a baseball postseason. Making it back this year for the 7th time to the NCAA tournament. Stumbled in their own conference tournament in the SAC, losing a game early against Carson Newman, but bouncing back to win the title and the automatic bid to the North Greenville Regional.
Dula likes the sign from McNeely. Look out, way high and inside, and it's 1-2.
Logan McNeely, again, he has more hits than anybody this week of all the 8 teams, but he's been so valuable every single day they're behind home plate catching this variety of Bulldog pitchers, as the bulk of them have gone into the 7th or beyond.
They have had some great starting pitching. Brody McCullough, very valuable. He started it on Tuesday when he went 8+ innings in that win against Southern New Hampshire. Stroop pops it up behind the plate and out of play. It remains 1-2 to Dusty Stroop. And then you had David Nash throw a complete game against Seton Hill on Wednesday, and we saw Brody McCullough come back on just a couple of days rest after he threw over 100 pitches. He goes 95 pitches in that game on Friday against Angelo State, and that was yeoman's work. And then they went to the bullpen, and Tommy McCollum retired all 4 batters, had a couple of strikeouts. Clutch pitching, really, for Wingate in this tournament. 1-2 to Stroop with a runner at second, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a high fastball. So Dula gets the second out. K. Stroop.
They're not going to get his bat in the lineup today. Does not bat when he pitches. So he's going to give it his all here on the rubber. And just needs one more out to get out of the top half of the first inning here in the national championship final.
7 pitch at bat, and then he K's Stroop. Here is Garrett Pennington, the cleanup hitter, hitting .366, 6 homers, 27 RBIs, 6 for 16 in the tournament with a home run. And he's got Schumacher, who walked at second base with 2 down in the top of the first. Curveball high, 1-0.
When Central Missouri beat Tampa back on Monday, they were 2-0. Wingate at the time was 0-1. Since then, Central Missouri is 1-1. Wingate 4-0. This is the 5th straight day Wingate is on the diamond playing college baseball, competing for their season. The difference is it's no longer about win to play again tomorrow. It's about win for the title.
Fastball upstairs, and it's 2-0 to Pennington. Donovan Ditto on deck.
To put their pitching in perspective, we've had 14 games before this one, so that is 28 starting pitchers we've seen. Only 4 of them have made it to the 7th inning all week. The 4th one being Mason Green for Central Missouri, which was just unbelievable that he started yesterday, continued today, made it to the 7th. All 3 other pitchers were for Wingate this year to keep their season alive.
Swing and a miss, big rip there by Pennington, 2-1. Yeah, Mason Green got the win in that first game to go to 16-0. What a performance over 2 days for Mason Green, throwing over 100 pitches over the course of 2 days. There was basically a 17-hour delay in between the 2 games. And by the way, these Mules, they're wearing the same uniforms they wore earlier today. That pitch is low, 3-1. That's why you see dirty pants. You see a team starting a game and their pants are already dirty.
They're also in the wrong dugout.
Yeah, the same dugout they had earlier today when they were the home team. Now they're the visiting team. Runner at second, 2 down, 3-1 the count to Pennington. Trying to deliver the first run of this game. Dula deals. Look out, it hit him. On the left side of his body, maybe on the shoulder. So 2 on with 2 outs.
That's 2 free passes leading to the 2 base runners this inning for Central Missouri. This is after, remember, Schumacher walked, but still 2 outs for Ditto coming up.
So now Ditto hitting .357, 3 homers, 30 RBIs. He's hit well in this tournament, 5 for 16 with a couple of ribbies as the sun goes behind some clouds now.
And with Dula on the mound, Andrew Mckay is your first baseman for Wingate today, with Dansky, Simpson, and Mellett your infielders.
Here's the pitch, down for a ball. Ditto ahead 1-0. Dula coming in 7-2 on the year, 3.15 ERA. He has 4 complete games as he talks things over with McNeely here. And opponents are hitting just .214 against him.
They have eliminated 3 teams. 3 of the 6 teams that aren't here anymore, eliminated by Wingate.
Well, they got revenge on Angelo State, the team that beat them in the first game, as they beat them twice in a row to get here the last couple days.
Central Missouri has eliminated 1 team this week, Tampa, earlier today.
Ditto ahead 1-0. He's got Schumacher at second, Pennington at first, and 2 down here in the top of the first inning. Dula's had to work hard already. Fastball upstairs, and it's 2-0 to Ditto. Yeah, we wondered if Dula would hit as a pitcher and they would forego the DH because he's been hitting well enough and being a clutch hitter, but that's not the case. He's just pitching in this game right now.
And if for some reason he exits, it would be complicated to get his bat in the lineup.
Yeah, with a DH and everything. 2-0 to Ditto. Called strike on the outside corner, 2-1.
He certainly has 2 of the more memorable at-bats this week for Wingate. Both of them were in the same ball game against Angelo State. He literally was sitting on a 2-2 count with 2 outs and bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th for 3.5 hours. Didn't step out of the box once.
That was a long rain delay. Ditto fouls it back over the screen, and now it's 2-2 as Dula came back here in the count.
We're making the most of this, aren't we? Still top of the first. Bulldogs still haven't brought their bats for the first time. They are your home team.
27 pitches for Dula. This will be the 27th right here. He's had to work really hard. A walk, a hit batsman getting him in trouble. Number 5 hitter Ditto waiting, the 2-2. Swung on and fouled at the plate. It remains 2-2 to Ditto. Wingate has never won a baseball national championship. They won in soccer in 2016, and that was the school's first team national championship, men's soccer. Trying to do it in baseball today. Central Missouri, they won in 1994 and 2003. And that was before Coach Kyle Crooks came aboard. He's hoping to win his first title. He's coaching at third right now. He's been very animated as the head coach. Very athletic over there, catching some foul balls that we've seen. 2-2 to Ditto. Foul back, it remains 2-2 to Donovan, but what a job Coach Crooks has done. You think about what's happened the last few years with this team. The last 3 seasons coming into this tournament, they were 109-25. That's quite a record.
Inherits one of the more successful programs and continues to build upon that success.
They thought they had a chance at the title last year. They were 20-3 before the COVID shutdown. And now they've got a chance to win it all this year. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ditto. The pitch in the dirt, blocked by McNeely. Nice block to hold those runners. Now the runners will go on a 3-2 pitch with 2 down. This is a long at-bat here. This is going to be the 8th pitch of this at-bat.
Ditto hitting .313 this week. That includes a couple of runs batted in.
Outfield straightaway, not all that deep. These runners will go. Schumacher from second and Pennington from first. On 3-2 with 2 down. No score, top of the first. Payoff pitch. Fouled back on the right side. It remains 3-2. Now we're going to get to a 9th pitch of this at-bat with 0-0 Ditto at the plate.
If Ditto can extend this inning, possibly give the Mules a lead, you've got Micah Evans on deck.
Dula working so hard.
Evans a .376 hitter this year.
Runners ready to take off again on 3-2 with 2 down. There they go, 3-2. Fouled back to the screen. 4 foul balls with 2 strikes for Ditto, and the drama continues.
Every batter Hunter Dula has seen so far is hitting at least .339 this year. He will only see one batter in this lineup that is sub .300.
10th pitch of this at-bat for Donovan Ditto. Dula likes the sign. Checks the runners, they take off. 3-2, in the dirt, ball 4. So 2 walks and a hit batsman have loaded the bases in the top of the first inning against Dula.
There have been exactly 1 ball put in play. It was a ground out. Defense can't help you. 2 walks and a hit batter. You do have 1 strikeout for that second out.
And here comes the head coach of Wingate, Jeff Gregory, out to the mound to talk to his pitcher. After that 10-pitch at bat, Dula now has thrown 32 pitches.
Gregory in his 11th year at the helm of Wingate.
He's done a masterful job with his pitching staff in this tournament, along with the pitching coach, Dusty White, of course. I mean, they have managed it really well. And, you know, they had a lot of guts to have McCullough out there for as long as they did on 2 days rest the other day. So you have to give them a lot of credit. Now he wants to know how his right-hander is doing in the first inning here. Ray Chamberlain, the home plate umpire, comes out to break up the conversation. Micah Evans will climb in, hitting .376, 7 homers, 43 RBIs, and he's had a good tournament, 6 for 12 with an RBI and a golden opportunity here. The top of the first inning, bases loaded, 2 outs. It's Schumacher, Pennington, and Ditto on the bases. Dula will go from the windup. Towing the extreme first base side of the rubber. First pitch to Evans. Pop foul behind the plate, out of play, 0-1. Well, if you're nervous coming into a national championship game pitching it, you only get more nervous when you have the bases loaded in the first inning.
You just need 1 pitch to help you out. At the same time, Evans just needs 1 mistake pitch to break this game open in the top of the first.
0-1 to Evans on the way. Curveball bounced weakly to first base, bouncing foul up the line. It's 0-2 to Evans, who had an incredible catch. It wasn't in a meaningful situation. It was a game where Tampa beat up on Central Missouri, but it was one of the better catches that we've seen. Micah Evans out in center field defensively, and now trying to do it with a bat here.
Micah's batting .500 this week, 6 for 12. Just 1 RBI, though. Has a chance to produce here.
But Dula ahead in the count, 0-2, looking for his second strikeout to get out of this. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called with a fastball. He froze Evans. And that retires the side as the Wingate fans erupt. They erupt on the first base side. On the second strikeout by Dula, he leaves the bases loaded. At the end of 1/2 inning, the score Central Missouri nothing. Wingate coming to bat with this lineup for head coach Jeff Gregory. McCann Mellett leads it off. Mellett at second base. Michael Dansky batting second. Dansky the third baseman. Catcher Logan McNeely is hitting in the third spot. Cleanup hitter Jed Bryant. Bryant in left field. Garrett Christopher bats fifth. Christopher the DH. Cameron Carraway hits sixth. Carraway in right field. Andrew Mckay bats seventh. Mckay at first base. Carson Simpson bats eighth. Simpson the shortstop. And batting ninth, who's contributed pretty well from that 9 spot, Justin Guy the center fielder. And they will face Junior right-hander Colin Jones, 8-2 with a 4.71 ERA. Jones did not pitch as well as he would like his first time out, although he did get the win in the first start here on Monday for Central Missouri. He gave up 4 runs, 9 hits in 5 innings.
Again, one of the names you did not say in that lineup, though, for Wingate is Hunter Dula. He is focused on the responsibilities of being the starting pitcher today for the Bulldogs. Threw a lot of pitches, was able to get out of a jam with a shutout top of the first.
So Colin Jones, who beat Northwest Nazarene, even though it wasn't his best outing, now facing McCann Mellett and Wingate. Mellett hitting .330 on the year, 12 homers, 50 RBIs. He likes to swing at the first pitch when it's a fastball, and he did right there and fouled it 0-1. He is 4 for 22 in this tournament, but he does have a home run and 3 RBIs.
Yeah, it was a big home run, but it is just a .182 that he's hitting here this week.
They play him to pull in the infield, straight away in the outfield. Breaking ball misses low, 1-1 to McCann Mellett.
There's 3 runs batted in. A couple of extra base hits, that home run and a double.
Jones deals, line drive, foul down the left field side, 1-2 to Mellett.
Biggest crowd we've had all week, and we've had some tremendous crowds. And a lot of that has to be, again, the word spreading around Wingate, North Carolina. Not sure how many businesses are still open over there right now.
Yeah, they filled the seats, those Wingate fans on the first base side, and they erupted after that last half inning. Dula getting out of it, check swing, and Mellett went around, strike 3 on that breaking ball. He strikes out to start the bottom of the first inning.
Well, nice job by Colin Jones. Keeps the leadoff man off the base paths. Mellett still having some struggles. Looking for that 5th hit on the week. Gives way for Dansky.
Michael Dansky hitting .301, 6 homers, 26 RBIs, 3 for 20 here in Cary. As Jones hopes for a much easier inning than his counterpart. Dula had to throw 35 pitches in the top of this first inning, left the bases loaded, got out of it with the strikeout of Evans.
Yeah, Dansky, you mentioned 3 for 20. That's batting .150 this week. All 3 base hits are singles. He has walked 4 times, so he's had chances to get on the base paths, has scored on 3 occasions this week.
Ground ball hit up the first base line, handled by Pennington. 2 up, 2 down for the Bulldogs in the first inning. These two teams have done it differently offensively. Central Missouri has hit 6 home runs in their 4 games. That's the most home runs of any team, while the Bulldogs have only hit 2 homers.
Speaking of just hits in general, no man all week for any team has more hits than this man. Logan McNeely, 11 hits this week, batting .500 in Cary.
Yeah, 11 for 22. 362 on the year as he takes down 1-0. Driven in 4, and he's been excellent behind the plate as the catcher for the Bulldogs, as they've been able to win 4 in a row to get here. Jones deals, and that's a called strike at the knees with a changeup, 1-1. Colin Jones, the Leavenworth, Kansas native, and he's allowed a team-high 11 homers. The ball has carried pretty well this year at this ballpark, the USA Baseball training facility, the National Baseball training facility, where normally it was not the easiest task to hit a home run here. But this year, we've actually had more home runs in Cary, North Carolina than we've ever had at this tournament, 15 of them. That's fouled back to the screen. This tournament came to Cary back in 2009. We had a year break in 2017 in Grand Prairie, Texas. But this is the most prolific home run tournament that we've had here.
Yeah, we saw the 100th hit overall here in Cary in the previous game.
2-2 to McNeely. Just throws his bat at that one and rolls it out to second for ditto. 1-2-3 inning for Colin Jones. Much easier for him than it was for Dula. At the end of 1, alongside Lincoln Rose, I'm Joe Castellano as we go to the second inning of the national championship game for the Division II baseball. 0-0, Central Missouri and Wingate. Good crowd on hand here at Coleman Field at the USA Baseball training facility. Both of these coaches have done just an outstanding job. Kyle Crooks for Central Missouri in his 7th season, trying to carry on a little bit of a tradition that they have where they've won a couple of national championships. And they've won so many regionals, Lincoln. You've mentioned that they've won 19 of them coming in from the Central region. He would love to get his first national championship. He's a very active guy, as we talked about. He picks up foul balls that are lying in the dirt. He fields balls from his third base coaching position, and he has this routine. Watch this.
Every single inning, just pays homage.
Pretty cool.
And as you noted, if there's a line drive hit his way, he's not running out of the way. He's trying to barehand that ball.
Oh, yeah. Alex Madera will lead it off for his Mules, hitting .348, 3 homers, 46 RBIs. 7, 8, and 9 in the order against Dula, who really had to work to get out of that first inning. Through 35 pitches, left the bases loaded as he walked 2 and hit a batter. Want to know the count? He did strike out 2, including Evans looking to get out of that inning.
Yeah, but he's right back on the mound here after the Bulldogs went 3 up, 3 down.
Yeah, 11 pitches for his counterpart Jones. Swing and a miss at a high fastball. 1-1 to Madera. 3 for 16 in this tournament. The next 2 batters really have not had a lot of activity in the tournament. Van Bruce and Strobel. A different look for the Mules in the championship game. 1-1 to Madera, upstairs, 2-1.
That's a 188 average for Madera this week. Does have a triple among his 3 hits and 1 RBI.
The senior from Curacao, place that produced the great Andrew Jones, great outfielder with the Atlanta Braves for so long. That's fouled out of play.
Madera all-conference shortstop this year, and we have seen why. The 5th-year senior also all-region. After taking bronze back in 2019 here, after playing 2 semifinal games against Colorado Mesa, but seeing Colorado Mesa move on, here are the Mules back in the final.
Pop-up, first base side foul territory for Mckay. There's a lot of room over there, and he's got it. 1 away.
That is your starting first baseman in this ball game, helping out the typical starting first baseman, Hunter Dula, by retiring the first batter.
Now Brennan Van Bruce again, the DH, who is 9 for 27 on the season. He has not had a lot of at-bats. No homers, 5 RBIs. He had a sac bunt in his only plate appearance here in Cary.
But already has a great postseason memory in that regional final.
Dula deals to him, and it's inside, 1-0.
Remember, in that regional final, Schumacher went diving for a ball, didn't catch it. The ball hit into the dirt, bounced right up into his eyebrow, requiring 5 stitches, out for the game. Van Bruskin came in, went 3 for 3, filling in the rest of the way.
What a great job off the bench. 1-0 the count. Van Bruskin takes, that's a strike, and a fastball up at the letters. It's 1-1. Dula, I mentioned he lost the opener Sunday to Angelo State. Prior to that, he had won his last 6 decisions with 4 complete games, and he had 3 games of 10-plus strikeouts. So he has really pitched well coming into the tournament. It wasn't his best outing, but consider that Angelo State had one of the top offenses in the country that he was facing the first time around. 2-1 the count.
Yeah, Angelo State, one of the few programs boasting multiple first-team All-Americans, 1 on the mound, 1 at the plate. Single-handedly eliminated by Wingate, whose only loss this week had been against those Rams. Back on their first game.
High pop-up, right side of the infield. Mellett. That is way up in the sky. He's got it for out number 2. So 2 pop-ups for Dula to get the first 2 outs in the second, and now Gavin Strobel will climb in, hitting .280, 5 homers, 16 RBIs, and just 0 for 3 in this tournament.
Well, when you look up into those clouds, baseballs are the only thing we want falling from the sky here today.
We've seen our share of rain, especially with Wingate as the team on the field. We do have dark clouds overhead, but we haven't had any rain all day. As Strobel takes a strike 0-1. We finished up a game where Central Missouri was able to beat Tampa 3-1, a tight game that got them to this title game. The Mules, this is a long day for them to try to win a national championship.
Strobel came into the week hitting just under 300, made a little less than half the starts as your catcher for Central Missouri this year. Scott Wolverton being the other.
Outfield plays straight away. Dula has a couple of strikeouts, but he's also walked 2 and hit a batter. No hits allowed as of yet. The pitch in the dirt, 2-1.
Wolverton quietly had a really nice week, hitting .444 when he would get the nod. It was 4 for 9 with a couple of runs batted in. See what Strobel can do here in the championship.
Dula deals to him. That's whacked foul past the third base coaching box. And Coach Kyle Crooks, I mean, he wanted to field that. You could see in his heart he really wanted to dive for it, but he didn't do it. He almost wanted to chase that ball down as it rolled over by the tarp. He loves to go after the foul balls, doesn't he? 2-2 to Strobel. I think his team takes after him, too. They have a lot of energy on this Central Missouri team. 2-2 to Strobel, foul back to the screen. We've seen them playing hacky sack in between innings. We saw them. They were ready to play that first game before anybody was here. They were all active and moving around and playing catch.
The past 2 days, they've been showing up before anybody else, just ready to get out there.
They can't wait to play. And I think that comes from their head coach, Kyle Crooks. 2 down, nobody on. Dula looking for his third K in a 1-2-3 inning. The break-even pitch, fisted in the air towards third. Dansky coming over, dives, he's got it! Dansky with a great play in foul territory. He came a long way. And that retires a side, a 1-2-3 inning for Dula. Sparkling defensive play by Dansky at the end of 1.5. Central Missouri nothing, Wingate nothing. Nothing, Central Missouri and Wingate with the Bulldogs coming up here. Facing a pitching staff that has really done a great job in Central Missouri. Their ERA as a team is 2.57 coming into the national championship. I'm talking about games here in Cary that they've pitched really well with that ERA. Now Colin Jones after the 1-2-3 first inning facing Jed Bryant, Garrett Christopher, and Cameron Carraway. 4, 5, and 6 in the order.
Music was still playing, the reason for the pause.
Jed Bryant takes curveball in the dirt, 1-0. Bryant, 259 average, 8 homers, 43 RBIs. Takes a deep breath, gets back in the box.
Yeah, understandably, most of these Wingate players are from right here in North Carolina.
2-0 the count.
So you have to imagine some of their high school coaches have probably showed up for this, in addition to their family members, some of their old teammates. Both teams, fantastic crowds.
There's a shot to short on one bounce. Madera grabs it, comes up throwing. He got him. What a play by Alex Madera.
Absolutely robs Jed Bryant of a leadoff base hit. Alex Madera flashing the leather at short and still has the arm. This from shallow left. And a nice job by Pennington to make the stretch.
That was hit hard. The stop was difficult enough, and then to get up and throw him out. Here's Garrett Christopher, line drive, base hit right field. There's the first hit of the national championship game for either team. Garrett Christopher, the grandson of a longtime coach, Ron Christopher, legendary coach. They named the stadium after him. Well, he comes up with the first hit.
Wingate has won national championships, but that was in their junior college days. His grandfather led them to back-to-back-to-back titles back in the 60s in the NJCAA. Garrett could be a part of the first NCAA national championship here in Division II for Wingate.
Great baseball name of Garrig. Here's Cameron Carraway, and he fouls one on the first base side, 0-1. Carraway, .215 average, 4 homers, 15 RBIs. And he's another player who really hasn't played much in this tournament, who's getting a chance in the national championship game. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
Garrett Christopher, not the only Bulldog legacy on this team this year.
Curveball hits him. So Carraway with a gift, hit by the pitch, 2 on, 1 out.
One of those great starting pitchers this week who went the distance was David Nash, you'll recall. The only complete game pitcher all week long for any team, and of course his dad, previous head coach at Wingate.
Yeah, some pretty good legacy players there. Andrew Mckay will climb in, hitting .309 with a home run and 16 RBIs. Christopher at second, Carraway at first, 1 out after the fantastic defensive play by Madera at shortstop. 2 men able to reach. Bunt, first base side. Pitcher Jones checked third quickly and throws out Mckay at first base. So it puts 2 men in scoring position, but that's 2 outs.
And Colin Jones makes the right play. He did have time to at least check third, but make sure he gets the out, doesn't let things compound. As Simpson will have a chance to come up and extend this inning. Potential go-ahead run 90 feet away.
Simpson, a .311 hitter, 2 homers, 34 RBIs. Had a big triple earlier in this tournament. 4 for 21, has driven in 2.
Wingate has scored 3 runs this week on wild pitches.
Well, there's a lot of room between home plate and the backstop here at this ballpark. So if it gets by the catcher, generally you have a good chance. Curveball for a ball, 1-0, unless it caroms really hard. We've seen that too.
That was all against Angelo State. We have not seen any issues so far between Colin Jones and his catcher, Gavin Strobel.
Christopher singled, he's at third. Carraway hit by a pitch, he's at second. With 2 away, and the count 1-0 to Simpson. Jones deals. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, and it's 1-1.
They would love to keep the inning going for Justin Guy. You don't say that too often about the number 9 hitter, but he's been about as good as it gets, hitting .353 this week from that 9 spot for the Bulldogs.
Very productive. 0-0, bottom of the second. Jones had an easy first inning. Now, a little trouble here in the second. 1-1 to Simpson. Hit in the air, right field, chasing it is Webb. He's got a line on it, and he makes the grab to retire the side. He got back in a hurry, angling back into his right. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left in scoring position. 2 in the books in the national. We go to the third, 0-0, Central Missouri and Wingate. The national championship game, and to take you through the next 4 innings of play-by-play, my partner, Lincoln Rose.
Well, each pitcher so far has had a perfect inning, and each pitcher so far has had a bit of a scare. Most recently, the Bulldogs stranded 2 in the bottom half of the second. They are your home team in this lone game for the national championship. Hunter Dula's scare came in the first when there were bases loaded, including this man, Josh Schumacher, who was one of 3 runners to reach via free pass back in the first. But through his first time through the 9, no hits so far for Central Missouri and no runs, more importantly. Schumacher will try to change that here in the third.
Dula threw 50 pitches in the first 2 innings.
We mentioned Schumacher playing with 5 stitches near his eyebrow. He's played all of this week after exiting the regional final, after the aggressive play, diving for that ball. The 2-0. This one skyward again, lots of foul territory, but not enough. Oh my! Never mind. right at the wall. And if you've been here all week, well, you start to get to know the dimensions here as Dansky, the third baseman, makes the catch.
That's back-to-back really good plays by him. A diving catch to end the last inning, and this time he comes over, and that's exactly what you got to do. You got to feel your way, get in position. Now you know you've reached the extent of where you could go, and just see where it ends up, and he just had enough room. Seemed to come back for him a little.
That's why I assumed it was going to continue to take him into the bullpen. But he did, as you said, the exact right thing. You don't want to get there when the ball gets there. You want to get there, understand your surroundings, and then make your adjustment.
If it's hit high enough, you have that luxury that you can do it.
Here's Eric Webb, 0 for 1 today with a ground out back in the first. Webb out of St. Peters, Missouri. Again, the vast majority of these players today from the Show Me State and from the Tar Heel State. On deck, Dusty Stroop. The 1-1 to Webb. Blows it by him. And Hunter Dula out of Troutman, North Carolina, was second team all-conference this year. He's also second team all-region. Wound up claiming MVP honors in the SAC tournament, the South Atlantic Conference. There's a shot out towards left, over towards foul territory. Will that stay playable? No. Oh, they wouldn't be so fortunate twice in the same inning, as that one just over to the berm in foul play. As Jed Bryant thought he might have out number 2.
He was lining up to try to get it. It just dropped over that fence.
Why do we need that fence? Here's Eric Webb. Can he make the most of this second life? Up the middle. Second baseman Mellett. Cross his body, not in time. First base hit of the ball game now for the Mules. Eric Webb is on with 1 out.
Well, Coach Crooks told us that Eric Webb is the strongest player on the team, and he's also a speedy runner. For a power hitter, look at him go. I mean, he knew that he had a chance to beat that out. Mellett did everything right. I mean, there's nothing that he did wrong on that. Maybe he didn't get enough on the throw, but safe is the call. Now, do we have a challenge? That was pretty close over there. Ooh, I don't know. I thought he was out. Coach Gregory, I think, is calling for a challenge.
It does appear Coach Jeff Gregory has asked for this to undergo an official review.
Looking at that first look, Lincoln, I think he's out.
Coaches get 2 challenges. If they get them right, they'll get 1 back.
They're going to look at it. I think he's going to be called out, and it has to be conclusive. What we saw in that first look, Lincoln, I think that was conclusive.
Chances are they'll get a couple of angles on this.
It's a really good effort by Mellett to make that play. It's not easy when you have to range to your right as a second baseman and get something on the throw. And even though Webb was flying down the line, I think he just is out by a half a step. Barely.
This is where we get the umpires some extra camera time for their families tuning in.
Let's see when the ball is in the mitt. Oh, you know what? That is so close. I don't think you could turn that over. Well, let's see here.
If ties really go to runners, I think that's safe.
It's hard because the ball is just in the front part of the mitt.
Yeah, not secured by the mitt.
Right, and I think you're not going to be able to turn that over because it's not conclusive. That is so tough to
safe.
Call. Yeah. So it's a good call by Brian Herzog, the first base umpire, the crew chief.
I think that was enough to confirm that call as opposed to just staying with it.
You know, umpires, they will listen. They'll hear the ball hitting the mitt and listen for that sound as they watch the foot hit the bag, and it probably seemed simultaneous right over there for the first base umpire, Brian Herzog.
So Eric Webb is your 4th base runner for Central Missouri, the first to reach with a ball hit into play. Here's Dusty Stroop, 0 for 1 with a strikeout back in the first. And first pitch he sees out to Guy in center. You also have Carraway over in right. And Guy able to squeeze it in, 2 away.
That was confirmed on that call, by the way.
So Garrett Pennington hit by pitch back in the first inning. At the time, put 2 on with 2 outs. He would later move to second with Ditto walking as well. Dula, much easier inning in the second. See if he can have a fairly quick inning here. Hunter Dula just faces one more than the minimum. Eric Webb with the first mule base hit will be stranded on the base paths. 1 of 4 left on through the first 3 innings for Central Missouri, your visiting team in this winner-take-all 15th game of the week. Well, it's a scoreless ball game as we move on to the home half of the 3rd inning here in our national championship game. The phrase defense wins championships. How about the shortstop for Central Missouri? Alex Madera has been doing it all week, and then not to be outdone, Michael Dansky over on the hot corner for the Bulldogs has had a couple of really nice plays as well.
Yeah, those are the plays that you remember when you win the title that really got you there because you were able to prevent runs.
You just don't want to gift wrap extra outs to another championship caliber team. Both these teams are here for good reason. Only one of them, though, will leave with the title that everybody had their eyes on entering the season and certainly entering this week when we had 8 teams arrive in Cary. So here is Justin Guy, the number 9 spot in the Wingate order, trying to turn things over.
And you try to limit those mistakes, whether it be errors, physical or mental errors, or base running mistakes, because we've seen those prove to be costly in this tournament.
Guy out of Greensboro, North Carolina. 0-2 count to his name. Guy, a 4th-year junior. 1 home run on the year. Oh, this will be a tough one. Jones, bare hands, cross the diamond, does not disappoint. Fires a strike this time to the glove of his first baseman.
Are you kidding me? I never thought he was going to get Guy on that play. That ball was just plopped out there, third base side. He has to reverse direction as a right-handed pitcher. Bare hands it. Look at that quick release. Got something on it. Just gets him. That's a great play.
That ball's not even in his fingertips. That was a throw with the palm of his hand.
Amazing. That's a speedy runner. Guy can fly.
So we're back to the top of the order, but with nobody on and 1 out. Here's McCann Mellett.
These teams have brought their best defensive efforts to the championship game so far.
Considers bunting for a hit, count 1-1. Mellett struck out back in the first inning against Colin Jones. First game of the day for Wingate. They sat back, watched Central Missouri and Tampa battle for the rights earlier today to play the Bulldogs in a game that had to be resumed from yesterday due to a lightning delay. This ball gets down into center. It's a 1-out single for Mellett. Second hit through the first 3 innings for the number 6 seed Bulldogs.
Well, Mellett, for the most part, has been really good at hitting fastballs, but that time he took care of an off-speed pitch.
That'll make way for the third baseman whose defensive prowess we showed you. What can he do with his bat with 1 on, 1 out? Colin Jones in his 3rd inning of work, facing his 11th hitter, worked a perfect first after Wingate struggled to get out of the first inning. Central Missouri would strand bases loaded. Wingate would bounce back, facing just the minimum number of mules the next inning. Both teams seem to have now settled in. 1 on, 1 out for Wingate. As they'll throw back over to first, Mellett back in time.
Dansky knows how important it is to get on base here because McNeely on deck has really been on fire the entire tournament. If you can get him up there with a man in scoring position, then you could be looking at a lead.
Dansky now 3 for 21 this week after grounding out back in the first inning. It's your number 2 hitter in this lineup for the Bulldogs. Central Missouri, your number 1 seed, had available to it the shortest path to the national championship. And they were going to have some rest built in after improving to 2-0. Throw over to first. That 2-day layoff became a 3-day layoff due to weather and shifting some games around. And instead of punching their ticket yesterday morning and Wingate needing to beat them twice today, they would stumble against Tampa late in the second half of that ball game. Tampa would force a subsequent matchup, as this will allow Mellett now into scoring position. But the Mules are here. They knocked off the defending national champions. We will have a new champion this year, either a first-time champion with the Bulldogs or a group of Mules claiming their 3rd title for the program, the first since 2003.
They came so close getting to the semifinals 2 years ago, the Mules did. They lost to Colorado Mesa. Colorado Mesa didn't make it this year. They were a number 1 team, but they were eliminated by Angelo State before the D2 championship.
Runner on second, Mellett. The 2-1 with 1 out. Slightly below 50% approval rating for that strike call.
Yeah, it seemed like it might be outside. Dansky is shaking his head, but Ray Chamberlain said strike on the corner.
Again, as we start to go out in public again, great venue here as fans for Central Missouri and Wingate gather to cheer on their team. They know for the first time this is it. Win or lose, the final game of 2021. Over to the right side, Ditto boots it. Bulldogs on the corners.
That's an error on Ditto. We've seen so many good defensive plays early on here, but not that time. And Central Missouri, they had not made any mistakes really until they got to that game earlier today. They started to make some errors, and there's another one.
Ethan Westfall, pitching coach, will make his way out. He was on that first team under Kyle Crooks that made it to the championship week here in Cary back in 2016. They would come back in 19 and again here in 21.
Think about the importance of just putting that ball in play with 2 strikes. This is a Bulldogs team that had struck out 45 times in its first 5 games. So that's 9 times a game. And I know a lot of teams are striking out a lot, but just get the ball in play. And then you see what could happen right there with the error. And you've got the best hitter on the planet right now in Logan McNeely coming up. At least in this tournament.
Break up the meeting. Is that the first visit charged to Central Missouri? Bottom half of the 3rd inning. The Bulldogs are your home team. Well, of course they are. Their camp is just 2 hours away. They are playing a game for the 5th straight day in Cary. Meanwhile, Central Missouri had a chance to possibly only play 4 games all week and be national champions. That avenue is not available, but they're right where they want to be in the final game among the last 2. Runners on the corners for Wingate. And as Joe just mentioned, nobody's had more hits this week than Logan McNeely. Most of them singles, but if he can come through with one of those right here, Bulldogs have a lead in the national championship with 1 out.
In between pitches, you see the catcher looks into the dugout to get his sign. The hitter looks into his dugout, not third base, to get his sign.
Jones delivers. And that strike will even up the count.
Jeff Gregory, he flashes the signs from the dugout. That's why you see the hitter looking off to his right into the dugout to get the signs, while Strobel, the catcher, is looking into his dugout for Central Missouri.
And our home plate umpire, Ray Chamberlain. Runners on the corners for Wingate with 1 out. 2-1. Colin Jones gets the nod today for Central Missouri. The all-conference pitcher. Had just 2 losses all year coming into this week. 7-2 mark entering Cary. Just across state lines, the Kansas native, attending school in Missouri. How will this play out? Everybody's safe. Bulldogs strike first. Mellett comes home. Logan McNeely puts a ball in play, applies the pressure on the defense. And there's still just 1 out with 2 Bulldogs aboard.
Back-to-back errors by Ditto, and I think he just had too much on his mind there. He wasn't sure what he was going to do when he got to the ball. Do I throw to second? Do I just go to first? Well, thinking about all of that, I think took him away from the fact that he's got to field the ball first. Plus the runner was right there. That distracted him as well.
Kyle Crooks wants to ask if he can review for interference on the runner.
Michael Dansky, the runner there, I don't think it was interference. You have to allow the fielder a chance to be able to field the ball.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean, though, that you can't, stutter step a little bit and time it so that you're sort of blocking him. But you got to make sure that he has a chance to field it. You can't get in his way and physically disturb that second baseman. But you could be naturally running at the timing that you decide if you stutter step a little bit, I think, and make it look like it was just one of those things that you're running in front of him. It's really a tough situation. I think it's really delicate to be able to make a call there to say that that was interference.
I believe he's being informed that's not something that can be reviewed.
And the umpires don't think it was interference. So
it was a judgment at the time by the umpires. And again, all seemed reasonable. There's a reason why a batted ball can't hit you before a defensive player has a chance to play it. But that was not the case there, nor did he interfere with the ability to field the ball.
Give McNeely an RBI, by the way, but back-to-back errors by Ditto.
So here's your cleanup hitter. Runner on second, Michael Dansky. Run on first, Logan McNeely. Probably should be 2 outs, but the score absolutely an RBI for McNeely, bringing home Mellett.
Ditto made an error earlier today in that game against Tampa. Now he's made 2 here. So it might be getting in his head a little bit over there at second base.
Next thing you know, he'll be making a magnificent play you've never seen before. Jed Bryant 0 for 1 this game, grounded out to lead off the second inning.
I stand corrected. He made an error in the second inning of that game. Guess what?
That
game was played yesterday.
Come on, Joe.
Earlier today is also yesterday in my mind.
Yeah, we take some liberties. That game between Central Missouri and Tampa was paused in the top of the third with 1 out last night due to lightning, resumed earlier today. 2 on for Wingate. They have already struck first here in the home half of the third. Off speed, just misses. And Jed Bryant is still standing at the plate with 1 out.
By the way, earlier today in that game, Chase Plymel pitched for Central Missouri, and he is in the bullpen now for the Mules.
Yeah, he was the setup guy, got the hold in the 8th inning. Twice he's pitched the 8th to hand it over to their closer.
Through 22 pitches, so I guess he's not too tired.
Colin Jones for now, your mule on the mound. And the last 2 pitches, narrowly outside, narrowly inside to Bryant. Wingate 1 run on 2 hits off of Jones. There will not be a long leash for either starting pitcher today. There you see Plymel in the bullpen. 5th batter this inning, Jed Bryant. Gets around on this one, it's through. Dansky will come home. McNeely from first to third. And the Mules just cannot catch a break in the infield. But the Bulldogs, they find themselves in the driver's seat with 2 runs home here in the third and still just 1 out.
Well, Bryant hit that ball hard, but Stroop, the third baseman, just whiffed on that one. Tried to backhand it. It got by him. And we'll see how that one scored.
E5.
So that's 3 errors in a row for the Mules. And I mentioned they played well defensively before they got to that second Tampa game when they made 2 errors, and now they've made 3 in a row.
Kyle Crooks has come out to talk to his men, and that will do it for Colin Jones. All Colin Jones has gotten are ground balls for his infield, but they have not been able to convert them to outs. As already joining them on that mound, Chase Plymel, the all-conference reliever. But even though this may already have been a pitching change executed by the head coach, he wants the extra moment to talk to everybody and look everybody in the eyes as they are flirting with a national championship, but have failed to convert some basic outs defensively. We step aside here on NCAA DII. Well, it's hard to fault a pitcher when the last 3 men who have reached have all simply sent a ball to an infielder, and there have been 3 straight infield errors. But Colin Jones is done. Chase Plymel is back in for the second time today. First time, obviously, in this ball game due to the laws of baseball. Here's Garrett Christopher, who singled last inning.
Plymel just pitched earlier today and went an inning scoreless, 2 hits allowed, 2 strikeouts. And as you mentioned, he held it for Rathburn, who saved it.
He's had a couple of 8th inning performances against Tampa this week. You imagine they're hoping he can give them an extended relief appearance here. Your runner on third is Logan McNeely, who reached on the 2nd error this inning from Donovan Ditto. Jed Bryant's your runner on second, who stands there after Michael Dansky let one get by him at third. 3 straight errors by this infield of Central Missouri after a 1-out single from Mellett. 2 men have scored, still just 1 out until now. Chase Plymel comes on and strikes out the first man he sees, Garrett Christopher, 2 away.
Well, he's been an important part of this bullpen, throwing his fastball and curve. 2nd full year after transferring from a community college, and 3-0, 1.49 ERA, 46 strikeouts in 36 1/3 innings this season.
So we'll see if he can wrap up the inning here. Cameron Carraway was hit by a pitch last inning. Second batter now faced by Plymel. Carraway out of Rockingham, North Carolina, 2nd-year freshman. 4 home runs on the year. Has made a little less than half the starts this season. Takes the 0-1 offering, and he may be down to his final strike this inning with 2 teammates still on. 2 have already scored for Wingate, as the lineup came through for a 2nd time to face Colin Jones initially. And no favors done for Plymel there by Carraway. 2 on, 2 out, and a 2-0 ball game. Bulldogs have the added benefit of being the home team here. They were able to walk off that first win against Angelo State. Their subsequent win against the Rams, they were the visiting team, scoring in the top of the 11th. Just pokes this one back to Plymel. He'll toss it over to first. The inning is over. 7 Bulldogs come up in the 3rd. They combine for just 1 base hit, but aided by 3 errors, plate the first 2 runs here in Cary in the national championship. We move on to the top of the 4th with the new score. Wingate 2. Well, we always look forward to great baseball here in Cary, but Joe, you and I, of course, look forward to seeing some familiar faces and getting to know some new ones as well. Great to be a part of this NCAA.com crew, including a lot of the folks we've had on cameras all week and over the years as well, some returners as well. There's our guy, Jeff. Up high.
Wahlberg.
James over there in the dugouts, getting to know the Mules, part of a long day. Of course, thanks to Darian we saw a moment ago. And there is Brian Tuttle, a man known as Tut. He was actually recognized in front of the crowd today before the first pitch. It's his final year. He has been here in Cary since 2009, a part of our broadcasts.
Over 150 games, right?
Yeah. I think we got a rude count of closer to about 170 games that he has helped capture for us out there. It's just a shame he doesn't have much of a personality.
He's an icon.
So big thanks to them, along with other members of our crew who we just can't afford to have extra cameras pointing at right now. But that includes, of course, Jerome, Peter, along with Bradley, Will, and Bree.
They've all done a great job. Bradley's been talking so much, our producer-director, that he nearly lost his voice.
We'll give him tomorrow off. The 3-0 offering, it's a 4-pitch walk. As Hunter Dula, that's another free pass, this time since Ditto down to first. So here's the deal. Ditto defensively, some issues today, but he's been able to reach twice today on walks. Let's see if they can bring him around.
Well, you hate to see those free passes, especially after you just grab the lead like that, and it just adds to the pitch count. I mean, Dula, it's going to be tough for him to go real deep in this game because he's already at 64 pitches. Although he does have a lot of rest, he hasn't pitched since Sunday.
Micah Evans at the plate. First pitch he sees, fouled back. Now Evans has the honor of 4 stolen bases this week, being the most prolific base stealer of anybody we've seen in Cary this week. But right now, he's just trying to get on and advance Ditto around the base paths after striking out, looking to end that first with bases loaded, leaving 3. It's his first time up since then against Dula. Could he hold up? No appeal.
And I was going to say, it's not just the stolen bases. He's so fast on the bases. He has not been doubled up all year. He has not grounded into one double play.
They did finally appeal, did not go. Donovan Ditto, the leadoff walk, stands on first. Tying run at the plate, Evans. First 2 runs played at bottom of the 3rd. Got another look there. Hunter Dula, hard to believe, is your last starting pitcher standing after a rocky start in the 1st inning. High pop-up, shortstop Simpson says he has it, and he's true to his word. Yeah, so how about the start in that 1st inning? Dula had to leave bases loaded. We saw Colin Jones then in the home half of the 1st pitch a perfect 3 up, 3 down. Would retire the first 4 batters he saw, but doesn't make it out of the 3rd, and really the defense letting him down.
Yeah, Dula, I didn't know that he was going to make it out of the 1st. I mean, he threw 35 pitches, but he had that strikeout of Evans looking, and that was huge to get out of that inning.
It's just an odd luxury that they had Dula able to go for this ball game after he pitched their opener. 5th game in 5 days for Wingate. Not a lot of teams would have a slam dunk starter for that 5th game in a row.
The depth has been great, right?
6th game overall. The mission 5-1. A 5-game winning streak to close out the season means national championship. As Alex Madera, the brilliant shortstop, 0 for 1 today, fouled out back in the 2nd inning.
You know, we saw Ditto run earlier in the at-bat by Evans, not running here, but opponents have been able to steal 13 out of 15 bases against Wingate. So they haven't held the runners that well, and you wonder if Ditto might think about going.
Ditto on first, the 0-2. And McNeely able to corral it.
Ditto is not one of their big base stealers, though.
Was 6 for 9 coming into this week. The 1-2. This will get down. Ditto from first to third. Coach Crooks wants him to go home. He will. Mules will be on the board for the first time as Ditto cuts the deficit in half. Alex Madera with the RBI double. And he makes it a one-run ball game.
Well, he hit it in the right spot to get the runner all the way around from first base in the corner there. By the time Bryant was able to collect it, they didn't have much of a chance to get Ditto. See, as it went in the corner, Bryant playing that camera, he's kind of waiting for the ball. Look at that wave. There's no wave home from Kyle Crooks. He just points it home. Very relaxed. Just go ahead.
Not everybody goes with the windmill. Here's Van Bruce again. The DH popped out back in the second. Kind of a wild card coming into this game. Could he continue with a big ball game like he did back in the regional final? Gets the nod at DH. We've seen a few men in this spot for Central Missouri.
Both of these teams swept through their regional to get here. They got on a roll. They had to face adversity here this week, but they both made it here by winning when they needed to. And for Wingate, that's been 4 days in a row.
Runner on second with one out. Ball shot to the left side. It'll get through. This will be a tie ball game. As coming home is Madera after his RBI double. He gives a thank you to Van Bruce again, who comes through. Kyle Crooks made changes in his lineup. They're kicking in.
Great effort by Dansky, but he just couldn't come up with it as Van Bruce again hit that ball hard. Yeah, you're right. I mean, this guy hasn't had much playing time, but he just got it by the third baseman. It's only his 29th at bat of the year, and he ties the game in the national championship.
Gavin Strobel fouled out over there along the bullpen. And Michael Dansky tracked it down. 0 for 1 today. Still just one out. Potential go-ahead run on first. He puts down a bunt. It's a beauty. Dansky across the diamond. It is secured by Mckay. Sacrifice bunt moves Van Bruce again into scoring position, but now 2 away.
Why not get that man in scoring position for the leadoff hitter, Schumacher, as the Mules, their offense, waking up here in the 4th inning.
And the crowd from the Show Me State with a little shoo for Josh Schumacher. 6th batter this inning. Deficit erased already. Go-ahead run in scoring position. Central Missouri had stranded 4 over the first 3 innings. They have answered here in the top of the 4th after falling behind for the first time in the bottom of the 3rd.
Right-hander Sam Broderson has a baseball, and he is starting to throw in the Wingate bullpen.
It would be his 4th appearance this week. There aren't many Bulldogs we haven't seen over the past few days. The 2-0.
Well, this team has been in survival so long, Wingate. They just know how to come out of games like this. Think about it. I mean, they're not nervous about this. They've played some tight games over the last couple of days.
They're just ready to fast forward to the bottom of the 9th. Maybe have some rain kick in.
Oh.
Schumacher, this will get down. Van Bruce again will come home, and it's Central Missouri able to turn the table. In the top of the 4th, they strike for the go-ahead run. Josh Schumacher, the most recent Mule to come through.
So first lead of the game for Central Missouri. That walk starting out did not bode well for Dula. And then hitters at the bottom of the order hitting the ball hard against him. Now the top of the order and Schumacher. So Dula is really struggling in this inning, and his catcher McNeely is going to come out and talk to him. And now you're going to see Dusty White, the pitching coach, as well. There's a lot of concern with what's going on in this inning for Dula.
Well, obviously it gets easier now, right? Eric Webb's coming up.
Yeah.
This inning began with the fourth free pass of the ball game from Dula. Of course, the first three were to load the bases in the first. Did not pay for that. The walk to Ditto, who has since come home to score on the RBI double from Alex Madera with one out. Brennan Van Bruce again, your DH in the starting lineup today. Then brought Madera home soon after with a single. Gavin Strobel's sacrifice bunt set up Josh Schumacher. An RBI single to score Van Bruce again to give the Mules the lead. Hunter Dula still your starting pitcher in this ball game for Wingate. As we noted, seventh batter coming up this inning, Eric Webb.
Well, you just can't groove anything into him the way he's been swinging the bat. He's been hitting for power. And you have to pick your poison with Webb. Stroop, who's on deck. Stroop hasn't been swinging it as well. I'm not saying you walk Webb at all, but you got to work around him a little bit here.
First pitch, nothing Webb can even offer at.
I don't think he's going to throw him many fastballs in this at bat here. That was a breaking ball.
Three of the last four Mules with an RBI base hit. The exception was a sac bunt from Strobel to keep the good times rolling. Dula looking for that third out.
I was wrong. Fastball right down the middle, and Webb took it.
Wingate took a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the third. Mules have answered with three here in the top of the fourth. Modest lead for Schumacher at first. He'll take a couple extra steps. Webb not chasing 2-1.
Webb does a really good job of not chasing. For as much power as he has, he's only struck out one time in this tournament.
The 2-1 to Webb. This will get out of play, 2-2. If Eric Webb can extend this inning here with two outs, Dusty Stroop on deck in the 3-hole. This inning began with the 5 spot. Donovan Ditto not hanging his head about the defensive issues. Instead, setting the table for at least a 3-run inning and a comeback with his walk. Mules 3 runs on 4 hits. Runner Schumacher goes with 2 outs. This one out towards right. Carraway under it. And the top of the fourth is over, but not before a lead change. In the national championship game, it's Central Missouri with its first lead. The number 1 seed trying to finish 2021. Well, again, there is no bad vantage point here in the ballpark, and over the past week, fans have been able to have a little trial and error, and a lot of folks have chosen the berm. I have a feeling some local sporting goods stores have sold additional tailgating chairs as well. That's a new catcher, by the way. And Scott Wolverton replaces Gavin Strobel for Central Missouri. Chase Plymel continues in relief here, as the Bulldogs now trail for the first time today. Andrew Mckay at the plate. Had the sac bunt back in the second inning, but it wouldn't ultimately yield any runs there in the second. Wingate scored its lone 2 runs last inning. Bulldogs have not been able to get their leadoff man on so far. Mckay at the moment represents the tying run, but probably not for long. Dansky. And pardon me, that's Stroop over there. How good is Michael Dansky? I had him playing third base for both teams.
I'm going to take a guess, by the way, that Coach Crooks wanted to give Wolverton a bit of a rest so he wouldn't have to catch all day, and that's why he didn't start. He's one of their better hitters, but now he comes in as the catcher so he could have his bat back in the lineup too.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah, I'm just guessing that. Because it's a long day, and when you catch, you know, whatever, what was it, 7 innings of the first game, today anyway.
Here's Carson Simpson, 0 for 1 today with a fly out to right. Justin Guy on deck. Bottom third of the order right now is 0 for 3 today. As Jacob Rand over there at third base, assistant coach for the Bulldogs, has a slightly different philosophy on batted balls sent his way than the head coach and third base coach of the Mules. Let it be.
You know it's a special game when you have 6 umpires, I'll tell you that. You look out down the lines, see that extra umpire, and you go, oh, wait a minute, this is the national championship.
This ball ranging over towards the Bulldog dugout and out of play.
And the best crowd we've had, although we've had some really good crowds. The fans from Wingate making that 2-hour drive. And so how about Central Missouri? Their fans showing up too.
I get that today Wingate would get an extra boost on the weekend. Word of mouth has gone around. You can make that drive, but yeah, no, you mentioned Central Missouri also saw that boost this weekend. Was he able to hold up? He was. It's a full count to Carson Simpson.
That was close. Brian Herzog, the first base umpire, said no swing.
Our very first game last weekend, another look here.
Whoa.
Yeah, that might have
gone.
Might have merited a strike 3. See if Simpson can take advantage of the extra opportunity. No. Chase Plymel. 1 pitch later with the strikeout of Simpson. 2 away. Our first game was last weekend, last Saturday. It went extra innings, a great way to start us off. A 10-inning battle back and forth between Tampa, an established program that we've seen over the years, your defending national champs, and Trevecca out of Nashville, one of our 3 newcomers, which included Northwest Nazarene as well as these Bulldogs. But that was our first of many wonderful crowds and fan bases to make their way here. Nashville and Tampa. Here's Justin Guy trying to extend this 4th inning. Wingate went 3 up, 3 down in the first. Have given Mules pitchers fits over the past 2 innings. Bringing up 5 and 7. But here's Chase Plymel, his first full inning, trying to go 3 up, 3 down. And he's 1 pitch away from doing so.
The starter, Colin Jones, made a really nice play on Guy back in the 3rd inning. Guy can really run, and it was such a nice play coming off the mound to pounce on a little bouncer.
But again, he threw that ball with his palm.
Yeah, he got rid of it so quickly.
This will take a left turn into foul territory.
Almost had another one of those.
You'd say this week was worth the price of admission?
Oh, man, what a week. This has been some great baseball. We've had to endure some rain delays, but it was all worth it to see the kind of action and see things, you know, we've never seen before. I've never seen a 3.5-hour rain delay and then come back for 1 pitch and then the game ends. That was exciting.
Gratis, free. They welcomed you in at the gates, but if somebody wanted to charge you a surcharge or process and handling fee, it'd still be worth it. Justin Guy down on strikes. 2 of the 3 batters retired in the 4th by Plymel. The strikeout. A lead for Central Missouri. This is the final game of 2021 here in Cary, North Carolina in Division II NCAA baseball. Lincoln Rose, Joe Castellano, thrilled to be a part of it. We mentioned our guy Tut, 12 years has been a part of this tradition out there in center field. Joe, you yourself, 10 of these tournaments now.
10, yeah, I just love it. I look forward to it every year just like you do. It's really one of the highlights of the year.
So much of it is about the game and the teams we get to see and tell the stories about. Certainly appreciate Mount Olive and their staff, Ryan leading the press box, Jeff, their athletic director, and all the other guys that seem to always set this time on their calendar aside to help contribute and support all the press box efforts and the game management.
Thanks to Mount Olive.
Over to left. That'll get passed into left field as Bryant will send it back in. Dusty Stroop gets things started here for Central Missouri. Carson Simpson, almost a fantastic play to keep that ball in the infield.
We've seen him make some really fine plays at short, but he just couldn't get to that one. That was hit hard by Stroop.
Will that be it for Hunter Dula? A week in which he has won us over with his bat. He throws his final pitch here in the 5th inning. And presumably it'll be a straight up substitution and his season over. We'll get you caught up. Just getting underway. A runner on first in the top of the 5th. Central Missouri looking for insurance here in the national championship. Well, for a 4th time this week, Sam Broderson takes the mound here in Cary. Through his first 3 appearances, only a combined 1 1/3 innings pitched. He's come in some tough spots.
He's given up 2 runs, 4 hits. On the year, 3.04 ERA. He's been one of the best pitchers on this staff.
He comes in to face the cleanup hitter, Garrett Pennington, who against Dula had been hit by a pitch but also retired 0 for 1 today.
Threw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball there, but he does get his fastball up to 91, 93 miles an hour. Good movement, too.
Pennington at the plate, and then Donovan Ditto continues his retribution tour on deck. Runner on first, again, Dusty Stroop, the last man that Hunter Dula faced.
You think Broderson feels like a freshman anymore with all of the tough spots he's been put into in this tournament?
Yeah, it's hard in June to still think of a freshman as anything other than just simply an academic status or an eligibility status.
He's grown a lot.
Runner on first with nobody out, going, and wow, Garrett Pennington, just to protect the runner, which was not necessary, offers his bat at a pitch that didn't quite make it to home plate.
Well, you got to do it. It's hit and run. So Coach Crooks put a hit and run on. You got to swing no matter what. I mean, that's just the way it is. And he swung with the ugliest swing you'll ever see, but the runner did go down to second base, gets the stolen base. Stroop got his 15th.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was not a foul ball.
No. Stolen base.
I thought that barrel still managed to find the pitch.
And that's the only problem with a hit and run. You put your hitter in a hole sometimes, and he can't recover.
That was foul tipped, but it was also caught by McNeely. So strikeout for Broderson. Dusty Stroop again moments ago, the stolen base on the failed hit and run. Here's Donovan Ditto. And despite 2 errors back in the 3rd inning, I think he is free and clear of overthinking what has already happened. He has since then walked last inning and come home to score. His teammates have picked him up, ultimately by capturing a lead, erasing that deficit.
I think he was looking for a breaking ball there. He got a fastball, and he did not have a clean swing at it. There's a lot of movement, too, as I was mentioning. That might have been part of it.
Top of the 5th. And Ditto will foul this one off, 0-2 the count. Also want to thank all of our sports information directors who, when we reached out to them shortly after those regional finals were over and they punched their tickets, a quick turnaround, but able to help get us up to speed on quite a few things. Big thanks to Joe at Central Missouri, as well as Hugh at Wingate. Those are extra busy folks when a pandemic pushes some fall sports into the spring on top of an already normal busy schedule during the spring. They'll get maybe a couple months and then go right back into fall sports. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Donovan Ditto, who has walked twice today, that each time against Dula. The second batter to face Broderson in relief. Yeah, Broderson came in this week, had a 13.5 ERA, not exactly representative of his full body of work throughout the season. Line drive back to Mellett. Double play. Unassisted. McCann Mellett squeezes it in and will send Stroop back to the dugout as well. It is still just a 1-run ball game. Well, this national championship game has now been entrusted to the bullpens for both teams. And with some arms that they have relied on throughout the year, that includes for Central Missouri, who tapped into their bullpen first, Chase Plimal. Talk about great depth. Both fan bases, no shortage of depth. Here's the folks who made the shortest trek as word got around the communities throughout North Carolina and over in Missouri. There will be some people who have been here, it seems like, all week long, but maybe never actually noticed a single pitch. But they've had some great memories here as well with their families.
And some of these people might have said, you know, I think I saw Plimal pitching earlier today in another game. Guess what? You're right, he did. He pitched against Tampa, and now he's out there again.
It has all settled down into this one game. But just imagine if one of these teams was here unbeaten still. What a mess that would have been on this final day.
Yeah, because you have to be beaten twice to be eliminated.
They would not have waived that clause.
Right.
In this double elimination tournament. Top of the order for the Bulldogs, as Mellett is 1 for 2 today, singled and scored in the third. He had the only hit that inning when after his single there were 3 straight infield miscues. Bulldogs, though, the benefit of that inning has since been erased. They trail by 1. 3-1 the count to Mellett.
By the way, these two teams have some of the biggest right-hand relievers you've ever seen in your life. And Brady Gavin is one of them, 6'8", 235, warming up in the Central Missouri bullpen.
A couple of states where barbecue for breakfast is legal.
Tommy McCollum, 6'5", 260. We saw him close out the game for Wingate the other day.
Payoff pitch to the leadoff man, Mellett. It'll be a walk for McCann Mellett. First base runner since Chase Plimal came in and retired the first 5 Bulldogs he had faced.
Got to figure that Dansky would bunt here, get the tying run in the scoring position for McNeely, but it's not 100% that he would do that.
Dansky 0 for 2 today, but with a run scored, reached on Ditto's first error in the third. Pulls back. The pitch is a strike on its own.
How unusual is that walk? Plimal, that's only his 5th walk of the season. In over 36 innings, he has struck out 49 actually, and that's only his 5th walk.
We'll get our producer Bradley to dig up the other 4 from this year. We'll have a whole video montage. Maybe we'll fly those guys in. This is your life.
But that one is a big one. That's the tying run.
That being Mellett on first. Able to get the bunt down, Dansky. Only play is at first. Stroop able to execute with the throw. Sacrifice bunt does its job. With one out, Mellett now in scoring position, the tying run.
Well, he's the guy that you can depend on to bunt somebody over. That was a good bunt. And now you got the top hitter in McNeely, who has just been incredible in this tournament.
Nobody has had more hits this week than Logan McNeely with 11. He was hitting .500 coming into this ball game, though 0 for 2 today with an RBI. On what should have been an RBI ground out in the third, he got to run the bases thanks to an error. He faces Plymel for the first time. He's the 8th batter Plymel has seen. For Wingate, only Jed Bryant is left. He's in the on-deck circle before Plymel starts to see familiar faces.
Yeah, I wonder if they're changing the signs here a little bit. You know, even at this level, you never know. And the runner at second may look in and see what the pitch call is and might be able to signal to the hitter. So I'm not sure. You know, Wolverton went out there to talk to Plymel. May change things up as far as their signs here.
1 on, 1 out for Logan McNeely. A constant all week for the Bulldogs. He comes through. It's going to be a brand new ball game here in the home half of the 5th inning. The Wingate half of the 5th inning. McCann Mellett after the leadoff walk. Doesn't stay on the bases for long. The sac bunt moved him into scoring position. That decision pays off.
Well, if Wingate goes on to win the national championship, this guy, McNeely, might be the most outstanding player. Comes through again, just drills that breaking ball in the left field. It's almost like he was looking for it. And that's his 12th hit of the tournament, most of anybody, his 5th RBI.
Here's Jed Bryant, your cleanup man, 0 for 2 today. He reached on the error by the third baseman. Fourth batter of this inning to come up. We mentioned he was the last batter faced by Colin Jones. Your starting pitcher for Central Missouri in the championship. Right side gets through. Back-to-back singles for the Bulldogs, still just 1 out.
And now you start to wonder a little bit about Plymel. He threw 22 pitches earlier today, and now he's up to 34 in this game. Maybe he's tiring here in the 5th. And Coach Crooks might be thinking the same thing. He has his right-hander Brady Gavin loose in the pen. Does he go to him here?
It looks like the decision's been made. Gavin has tossed the ball aside.
Yep.
When you rejoin us, we will confirm the 3rd arm for the Mules in this national championship. Their lead has evaporated. We are tied once more at 3. Well, the man on your screen is Brady Gavin, the 2nd man out of the bullpen for the Mules. It is his 4th appearance this week, Joe.
Yeah, Brady Gavin, big, tall right-hander, and 4th appearance. He has worked 4 1/3 innings, so he's been busy, giving up 4 runs, but they were all unearned. 3 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts.
Chase Plymel faced the lineup exactly once. 9 batters seeing Wingate come through. So Garrett Christopher is now facing his 3rd Mule pitcher in his 3rd at-bat. A single and a strikeout so far today. Runner on second, McNeely. Bryant over on first. So Bulldogs have a potential lead with that runner in scoring position. Christopher at the plate. Cameron Carraway on deck. Again, Colin Jones, your starter for the Mules. All he did in that 3rd inning after one man reached with 1 out was get 3 ground balls. None of them could be converted into outs, and then Jones ultimately would exit. Left side gets through. They'll send the runner and test the arm of Schumacher. Cut off the throw. Logan McNeely, after driving home the tying run, has given the Bulldogs a lead. This time it's Garrett Christopher, adding to the family legacy.
They are going berserk in the stands on the first base side, the Wingate fans. Christopher just going with that pitch, finds the hole there, and there's really no chance to get McNeely racing around third. I mean, look at this. They're playing with so much enthusiasm. Even without a throw there, he's diving in to home plate. And it's a back-and-forth battle in this national championship game.
It's a couple of runs now charged to Plymouth. Here's Cameron Carraway. Righty-righty matchup. Two Bulldogs still on. Now with a lead and one out. That's fouled by 2.5 feet.
Ooh, a hanging curveball right there, and Carraway jumped on it.
Sixth batter of this inning for Wingate. They have their second lead, albeit by just one. Gavin delivers the 0-1. Jed Bryant, the runner on second. Garrett Christopher on first. We've seen 3 straight singles this inning after a walk and a sacrifice bunt.
Meanwhile, Connor Dreyer, who started the other day, is throwing in the bullpen. All hands on deck for Central Missouri.
He was great. He got the start, 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs. Got him chasing, no place to go. Strike 3, out number 2.
Well, he had hung a breaking ball earlier in the at-bat, and Carraway fouled it. That time he didn't hang it. That was a nasty breaking ball.
So here's Andrew Mckay, who again is your first baseman after Dula got the start on the mound, but does not bat when he pitches. As a result, the downside is Dula's bat is no longer available to you the rest of the season. Of course, that being today. Mckay has a sac bunt and a pop out so far, 0 for 1. They could not take advantage of that sac bunt back in the second inning. Would strand 2 runners. 2 of the 4 left on today by Wingate. Though they trail, though they have a lead of 1, reestablishing that advantage here in the bottom of the 5th.
We've had lots of close national championship games in recent years. This has been thrilling so far, Lincoln. I mean, back and forth.
You just didn't know how much steam these teams might have. For Wingate, they've been playing almost every day. For Central Missouri, they already played once today, a game that they started yesterday. This is Central Missouri's 3rd game over this 2-day span after playing just 2 games over the first 6 days.
Gavin is a redshirt freshman. Looks like he has a good feel for that breaking ball right now.
Just needs 1 more out to strand a pair of Bulldogs after Wingate has already reclaimed a lead. Mckay stands in, waiting for the 1-1. Slow roller, barehanded by Stroop. No place to go. Bases loaded, the 4th single this inning, and it never gets off the infield grass.
Well, that was pretty much an impossible play for Stroop. Mckay runs well, so he tried to barehand it. He never did get the handle on it. So another single.
Brady Gavin can still get out of this inning with only a 1-run deficit. If he can retire Carson Simpson 0 for 2 today with a flyout and a strikeout. Now facing his 3rd different mule pitcher. And he wanted to break things open with the first pitch.
All 6 hits have been singles for Wingate. And I mentioned earlier, they're not a home run hitting team in this tournament. They get it done with a lot of base hits. But not many extra base hits.
We saw Dula and Mellett each with a couple of 2-run shots against Angelo State earlier this week. That's about it. Over the right side, need communication. Brady Gavin's communication is, I got it. There's your third out. Bulldogs strand the bases loaded, but they also plate 2 to tie the game and reclaim a lead after 5. Here in the national championship, they lead 4. Two-time national champions, but the last one was a little too long ago for any of these men to recall. 2003, first title back in 1994 for Central Missouri. Team that went 30-3 in their conference play alone. They got in 33 conference games. That's a more robust schedule than a lot of teams across the country got in. They showed up this week 43-6. They've added a few wins, picked up just 1 loss. Bulldogs trying to hand them 1 more loss here on the final day. Here's Mckay Evans, 0 for 2 today, facing Sam Broderson, the only bullpen man we've seen so far today for the Bulldogs. Nobody's going to be given much slack, though, from their head coaches. And this tight one, back and forth. Bulldogs have led twice. Mules have led once. And Mckay Evans will shoot this one out to center, but Justin Guy underneath it, 1 away.
There's a little bit of wind swirling out there. We haven't had much of that all week, so that made Guy hesitate a little bit. Took some stutter steps out there before he caught it.
It's a shame, now that the flags are finally flying with the wind, it's a shame we've taken down so many of the flags. All 8 teams are represented by their flags. The moment they lose, the flag comes down, so we are down to those 2 flags, Central Missouri and Wingate. Here's Alex Madera, an RBI double his last time up in the 4th. That plated the first run of what would be a 3-run inning. That's when Central Missouri would take its lone lead and a short-lived lead. As Broderson high and tight with that one, 2-0.
Austin Johnson was throwing in the bullpen. Also now David Nash, who threw that complete game earlier in this tournament, he is now in the bullpen.
Yeah, they're not going to try to save anybody for tomorrow.
Nope, that was Wednesday.
Two and 1 the count as Madera watches strike 1 go by. 6, 7, and 8 hitters were due up this inning. Mckay Evans has already flied out. This is your 7th spot, Madera. 1 for 2 today, a foul out and that RBI double. He would ultimately score what was the tying run. Out towards right, Carraway underneath it. Makes it look interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say both of those fly balls were a little bit adventurous because Carraway didn't exactly just stand under it. Ended up having to reach down to catch it. I think the wind is playing some tricks out there on the ball.
Well, here's a decision that's already paid off today. Brennan Van Bruce again gets the start at DH in the 8th spot. Had an RBI single back in the 4th that tied this game. He would then score to give them the lead. What can you do here with 2 outs, nobody on, now facing Broderson? That was all against Dula. Hunter Dula gave them 4 innings, came into the 5th. Sam Broderson came in, got an out, then a double play, so faced 2 batters that yielded 3 outs. So he's already recorded more outs this game than he had his first 3 appearances for Wingate this week.
Certainly Wingate's played a lot better defense than Central Missouri has, although the Mules have made some good plays, but they had that stretch there with 3 consecutive errors that led to 2 unearned runs, and that has been a problem.
And that's what chased their starting pitcher. Van Bruce again, 1 for 2 today. Just trying to extend this 6th inning. Count 1 and 2. Earlier today, we had the number 1 seed, the number 5 seed, and the number 6 seed as your last 3 teams standing. The 5 has since been eliminated. Your defending national champions defending no more. 3 up, 3 down. Sam Broderson picking up where he left off this season, shining bright out of the bullpen for the Bulldogs. And he keeps a 1-run lead intact, facing the minimum. The Bulldogs, in their 11th year, under the guidance of Jeff Gregory, making their 7th program trip to the NCAA tournament, the first ever here to Cary. And they might plan on making a few more trips to Cary in the near future, knowing how enjoyable it can be. Heck, you get to play a lot of games. Right now, they happen to have a 1-run lead in the national championship game against Central Missouri, entering the home half of the 6th inning. Lincoln Rose, Joe Castellano. This is Justin Guy. 0 for 2 today against Mule pitching. For the top of the order, comes back up for a 4th time for Wingate. And Guy's hit by pitch. Free pass, 2nd straight inning. A Bulldog reaches without having to bat a ball into play.
Certainly didn't want to do that. Tried to throw a breaking ball there, and it just didn't curve enough. It just kind of slipped out of his hand. Never was able to snap off that curveball.
The guy who led off last inning with a free pass is this man coming up, McCann Mellett. Does he square around? He is 1 for 2 today, 2 runs scored with a single and a walk and a strikeout. Runner on first, Guy. The pitcher again, Brady Gavin. Occupying about half your screen.
I like letting him swing away because he's got power, and he's the better of the 2 hitters that are up here with Mellett, and then you got Dansky. But you give yourself a chance here to have a big inning. You don't give up an out with a guy like this at the plate.
Guy hit by pitch, on base here with nobody out for Mellett. The 0-1 from Gavin.
Connor Dreyer throwing in the bullpen again. It's going to come down to who has the better bullpen at the end of this game.
And he got the start yesterday morning against Tampa.
Late call right there by the home plate umpire, Ray Chamberlain. The fans reacting. Well, they're reacting to every pitch.
They thought that pitch was a little low.
Is that guy thirsty in the dugout there? He's got a whole gallon of water that he's drinking. Got to stay hydrated.
One balls, 2 strikes. Count evens up to Mellett. And Mellett with a memorable home run stroke. Back against Angelo State. Look, during the pandemic, we all have our own personal beverages. No sharing, no straws.
He's going to drink a whole gallon of water during this game.
Runner on first, Guy. Guy was going on a hit and run. Count stays at 2-2.
Well, Guy's speed has been a factor in this tournament. I mean, he can really go around the bases.
Timeout called by Scott Wolverton, our catcher here, getting the sign in from his dugout. Brady Gavin, 3rd pitcher used today by Central Missouri. A 2-2 count. Mellett at the plate with Guy the runner going. The guy's going to have to slam on the brakes and try to get back to avoid being doubled off. But this ball just stayed parked up in the sky for a while, or finally dropping down in the glove of Ditto, one away.
Yeah, he was lucky it was a high pop-up. I think Guy is going to continue to try to steal second base because watching the pitcher, Gavin, he has a high leg kick. He's a big guy. It takes him a while to deliver to the plate. And I think Guy feels like he can get a good jump here.
You feel like you need to do that earlier in the count when your batter is not in danger of striking out. Michael Dansky had a sacrifice bunt that they capitalized on last inning. He has also scored here today after reaching on an infield miscue. Guy back in time.
Quick move.
Tag applied by Pennington swiftly.
Can't take much bigger of a lead there because that's a really quick move that Gavin has.
Fans are still filing in and finding their perch for this ball game.
I once went to a baseball camp, and the great Maury Wills, great base stealer, taught us how to take a lead. He said you take a decent lead, see how it goes when you have that throw over there. If you feel comfortable when you get back, take a little more, take a little more. And then when you feel like you just got back safely, that's it. You don't lead any further away from first base.
1 on, 1 out. Gavin facing Dansky. Mindful, a lot of folks tuning in. Several watch parties back in Missouri, organized by Central Missouri alumni. And of course, here in North Carolina, some viewing parties. We're mindful, this is probably the biggest watch party. Good old-fashioned taking in the ball game in person. Runner on first, still Guy. Hasn't been able to budge. Certainly has had the attention of Gavin. Wingate plated 2 in the third. Central Missouri answered with 3 in the fourth. Wingate reclaimed the lead in the fifth with 2 more. A back-and-forth ball game that has chased the starting pitchers for both teams. Both bullpens will be tested.
There's only been 1 stolen base against Central Missouri in this tournament.
That one breaks in there, strike 2.
So credit the pitchers for keeping the runners close. They've only attempted 1 stolen base against the Mules so far.
Again, 1 on, 1 out. Bulldogs looking for insurance. And Dansky will have to wait for that third pitch.
It's so hard to steal second base when you don't know when the pitcher's going to come to home plate. I think Gavin, even though he's kind of slow to the plate, he's done a great job of keeping the runner close. You're guessing, when is he throwing over here? When is he not throwing over here? He's so quick on his pickoff throws to first.
Did not go 1 and 2. Barring a double play, Logan McNeely will bat. He's currently 1 hit shy of batting .500 this week.
The first base coach just told Justin Guy something. I'm not sure if he's telling him that he should go here or what he should do, but he had some words with him.
Guy was hit by a pitch to lead off this inning. Currently 1 out. Leading by a run. Guy made a false move to second.
Well, that might have been, he might have told him to just test his jump. And there is a sign coming in, not only for the batter, but also for Guy at first base from Jeff Gregory, the head coach, putting those signs out from the dugout.
The 1-2 from Gavin. Runner is going, and that'll pull the shortstop Madera to second. From first to third goes Guy. Wow. Oh, it's all about the situation, and the worst of luck for Alex Madera, who is covering for a throw, and it sucked him away, allowing that ball to get through.
That is a great piece of hitting. bat control. And think about it, he had 2 strikes, so that's not a hit and run, that's a run and hit. But I think in the back of Dansky's mind, if he knew that the shortstop was covering, which you guessed that he would be with a left-handed batter, you know that you're going to have a hole over there. If there's a pitch over there on 2 strikes, you try to do it. Of course, 2 strikes, you're protecting the plate. That's just a great job by Dansky.
That's a redshirt freshman already working on his doctorate in base hitting.
Right.
Oh, by the way, here's Logan McNeely. And he may not have a chance to face Brady Gavin. Bulldogs have runners on first and third after Justin Guy was hit by a pitch. Michael Dansky's single, your first hit of the inning, puts 2 on with 1 out. And that'll do it. Kyle Crooks has made the official gesture. We will see a 4th man on the mound for the Mules when you rejoin us here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. As we So this is Connor Dreyer out of the bullpen. He was your first starter against Tampa earlier yesterday, and all he did in his start was give you 5 innings of shutout baseball, allowing 3 hits. Now, he did not reemerge in the 6th, and that 1-0 lead, almost immediately the save was blown. Tampa would score 8 unanswered with 10 more hits against the bullpen of the Mules. Otherwise, Central Missouri might have been waiting for Wingate in this game, needing to be defeated twice today.
Yeah, he didn't get a decision. 5 scoreless innings, 69 pitches just yesterday for Dreyer. Here he is again.
So the previous reliever, Brady Gavin, faces 7. Chance for 2 to deny the run. That's Connor Dreyer. Comes back in, throws 1 pitch, gets 2 outs. Return on investment, folks. It's a 1-run deficit for these Mules. They're back up in the top of the 7th. Six innings complete in a back-and-forth national championship game as we finally are competing again for titles here in 2021. Lincoln Rose along with Joe Castellano. Joe, look forward to seeing how these next few innings unfold.
Yeah, I mean, this has been quite a back-and-forth battle. Wingate took the lead with 2 in the 3rd. They took advantage of 3 consecutive infield errors in that 3rd inning. So they were up 2-0, and then Central Missouri answered with 3 runs in the 4th inning. The bottom of the order really came through there. Madera, RBI double, and Van Bruce again, who's barely played. He drove in a run, and Schumacher, the leadoff hitter, also. So they had a 3-2 lead, the Mules did, but Wingate answered with 2 in the 5th inning. They had RBI singles by McNeely and Christopher, and that's where we stand as we go to the 7th inning with 9-1-2 in the order coming up. Scott Wolverton is going to bat for the first time here. He came in to catch after Strobel started the game, so now Wolverton gets the hit the first time, and against Broderson, who came in the 5th inning and has done a nice job so far, retiring his first 5 batters, and he deals a strike, 0-1.
Gavin Strobel in his last plate appearance back in the 4th did have a sacrifice bunt that would help them eventually score a meaningful run, 1 of 2 that inning. 1 of 3, I should say. Wolverton's been one of the best hitters all season as he takes a ball 1-1. He's hitting .398, 6 homers, 26 RBIs, and in this tournament, 4 for 9 with 2 RBIs. Yeah, that's .444 on the week. One of the best hitters we've seen.
So Broderson, who came in the 5th with a man on, promptly got a strikeout and a double play on a line out, and then he had a 1-2-3 6th inning. A ground ball 3rd base side, stabbed by Dansky. 1 away. So 6 straight retired by Broderson to start his outing. They have action in the bullpen. Austin Johnson has been throwing in the bullpen, and now we see Nash again throwing. David Nash backing up just in case as Schumacher, the leadoff hitter, comes up.
Yeah, Hunter Dula handed the ball over to Broderson in the 5th inning. Broderson, the only reliever we've seen so far for Wingate.
Schumacher is 1 for 2 RBI single and a walk, and he fouls it back out of play, 0-1. Central Missouri team that has won 16 of its last 17 games. The only loss was against Tampa, and they had to revenge that loss and get a win against the Spartans that they completed earlier today. Breaking ball is low, 1-1, but they just lost yesterday to Tampa.
That was the game that was entirely played yesterday.
That was the morning game. And they turned around, started to play at night, and had to continue today. 1-1 to Schumacher. Bouncing ball hit to the right side. Charging the second baseman, Mellett. Flips to the pitcher at first in time. Nice job by Broderson to get over for the 4-1 putout. Mellett and Broderson doing the job there.
Well, again, you don't have your everyday first baseman in the ballgame for Wingate with Andrew Mckay, but he understands the rotation there.
And now here comes a man who has a chance to tie the game with any swing that he takes. Eric Webb, 1 for 3 in infield single, 19 homers this year, 4 of them here in Cary. 4-3 Wingate, top of the 7th. Broderson deals, swing and a foul back to the screen. Webb liked that pitch and just fouled it back. The all-time home run leader for Central Missouri, Eric Webb. All-America player. The right fielder waiting with 2 down, nobody on. Breaking ball, popped up foul behind the plate, out of play. It's 0-2, and I think those are 2 pitches that maybe Webb felt like he could do some damage on, but he fouled him back.
We finally have enough people scattered around that outfield berm behind left field to maybe fight over a souvenir ball if one gets shot their way.
He had a home run earlier today against Tampa. He also has an inside the park home run here at this ballpark. Fly ball, center field, hit well, but Guy under control at the warning track, got it. Webb gave it a ride, but it gets out to 400 feet out there. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Broderson. He can breathe again. So can the Wingate fans. They can breathe a sigh of relief. That went all the way to the track. All 8 retired by Broderson. 7th inning stretch here in the national championship game. Wingate trying to win 5 games in a row in this tournament after losing their first game. Leading 4-3 as we begin the bottom of the 7th. And there's a curveball for a ball to Jed Bryant, 1-0. Connor Dreyer threw 1 pitch in the 6th inning and got a double play ball to end the inning, 6-4-3. So great job there. And now Bryant, who is 1 for 3 with a single. It's a line drive off the glove of a leaping Madera, and it'll be a base hit for Bryant. Madera robbed Bryant of a hit back in the 2nd. He almost did it again.
Well, if he doesn't catch that, no matter what, if it had gone into left or deflecting this, it's a single. So nice job by Bryant, but Madera almost able to do it again.
Now Garrett Christopher. Christopher's had a good game, 2 for 3, 2 singles, an RBI. 7 for 22 in the tournament. With Bryant at first, nobody out. Trying to add to the 1-run lead. Dreyer checks first. Runner goes. Looper left field. Schumacher coming in. He's got it, racing back to first as Bryant gets back. He's 1 out.
Yeah, Jed Bryant went about 2/3 the way down, so he couldn't be forced out at second, had that ball dropped. Meanwhile, for Wingate, remember, Sam Broderson has retired all 8 batters he has seen, but Wingate has not given him any other choice. They have not found insurance for him. They'd love to do it here in the 7th.
Wingate took the lead with 2 runs in the 5th, and it has stayed 4-3 ever since. Now we're going to have a pinch hitter here, Grayson Chapman, coming off the bench to pinch hit for Cameron Carraway. So Chapman in the box with a runner at first and 1 out. And he takes in the dirt, and it gets away from Wolverton onto second. Goes Bryant on the wild pitch.
Chapman transferred from UNC Greensboro, 3rd-year sophomore, just hitting 186 coming into this week. Don't see anything on the scouting report on being good at drawing wild pitches.
So Chapman has a home run and 9 RBIs on the season, that is. 1-0 pitch. Hit in the air, right center field hit well. Webb going back, angling back. It bounces and hits the wall. In to score is Bryant. Stopping at second is Chapman. RBI double. They're going crazy on the Wingate side. They have a 2-run lead.
Secret weapon. Grayson Chapman makes his presence felt in the national championship, bringing Jed Bryant around. May have even had a triple available to him, but he'll be content, as this no doubt was going to get down. And that's going to be Chapman's moment, because they are bringing him off for a pinch runner now. But boy, he has injected additional life into this crowd.
So Chapman, who hadn't played the entire tournament, comes up with a huge double, and now he leaves for Andrew Motzinger as a pinch runner, and we'll have a conversation at the mound as the pitching coach, Ethan Westfall, comes out to talk to Dreyer to try to settle him down.
We had seen Chapman in 22 games this year, including 13 starts. But despite all the games this week, had not seen him. Motzinger similarly now will try to have his moment. This is a guy who's had a lot of starts this year. A .329 hitter, comes on though as a pinch runner. Just great depth for these programs. I mean, the past couple of days we keep being introduced to new faces somehow.
What a pinch hit RBI double in the 7th inning to put the Bulldogs up by 2. Huh. You talk about making the right call. Coach Jeff Gregory made the right one right there. He pulls out the pinch hitter, the number 6 spot right there, and it worked out perfectly on the first pitch. Here's Andrew Mckay, 1 for 2 infield single, sac bunt. What else does Coach Gregory have up his sleeve? Dreyer checks the runner, deals curveball in there for a called strike, 0-1. Well, that's the move of the game right there.
A little bit more breathing room for Broderson if he comes back onto the bump next half inning.
Meanwhile, the closer, Evan Rathburn, is throwing in the Central Missouri bullpen. He got the save in the first game today to get the Mules to this championship game. 0-2 now to Mckay. So there's the insurance. A single that went off the glove of the shortstop for Bryant. Went to second on a wild pitch and scores on the double by the pinch hitter Chapman. 0-2 to Mckay. Big gap in left center for Mckay. Dreyer deals, and that just missed low. 1-2. Dreyer, a converted outfielder, who is a really good pitcher now. In high school, he only threw 6 or 7 innings. But his fastball curve changeup combo has allowed him to have success as a pitcher. Right-hander getting the sign from Wolverton. Check second. 1-2 pitch, and it's fouled back. It remains 1-2 to Mckay.
That was the first run allowed by Dreyer this week. Again, earned now. The single from Jed Bryant coming home on the RBI double from Grayson Chapman.
This is the first relief appearance of the season for Dreyer. He's been in the rotation the entire time.
And made that start yesterday morning.
The junior looking in for the sign again. Working a little slower now. 1-2 to Mckay. The pitch. Breaking ball down and away, and it's 2-2 to Andrew. On deck is Carson Simpson. Well, the Wingate program, they've never had more excitement than this. They've never been in the Division II baseball championship. Now they've got a chance to win the national championship. A team ranked number 16 in the country. Curveball swing and a miss, strike 3. And then the throw to first by Wolverton. And Mckay is out number 2 on the first strikeout by Dreyer. And again, trying to become the first team to win the Division II baseball championship after losing their first game since 2005, winning 4 in a row and trying to win 5 in a row. Florida Southern, the last one to do it in 05. It's only happened 3 times in the 8-team format. Here's Carson Simpson. Simpson is 0 for 3, fly to right, struck out, bounced to the pitcher, takes the ball 1-0. There's been so much excitement around Wingate that we were told the social media posts were getting 25,000 views before the tournament. I can only imagine how many views Wingate social media is getting now. The pitch to Simpson, curveball, hit high in the air, left center field. Evans going back to his right, the center fielder under it, and that does it for the Bulldogs in the 7th. But a pinch hit, RBI double for Grayson Chapman, driving in Bryant, an insurance run, and at the end of 6. Eighth inning we go in the national championship game, and now Wingate with a 5-3 lead. Remember earlier in the game they had a 2-run lead. That didn't last long. They had the 2-0 lead in the 3rd, but Central Missouri answered with 3 in the 4th. Now we'll see how Wingate handles Prosperity here with another 2-run lead, and Dusty Stroop leading off against Sam Broderson. Broderson has retired all 8 that he has faced, and that's fouled back out of play, 0-1.
Yeah, he's actually gotten more outs than batters faced in this relief performance thanks to a double play.
So he has been perfect in relief of Hunter Dula, who gave up the 3 runs in 4+ innings.
This man at the plate was on base when Broderson came on back in the 5th.
Stroop 1 for 3, a single, and he takes outside 1-1. Still looking for his first RBI of the tournament. He has not homered, and he came in with big numbers, 20 homers, 63 RBIs. His batting average at .388 on the season. But in this tournament, he is 4 for 19. Stroop takes on the breaking ball low, 2-1. Dusty at 6'3", the senior from Lee's Summit, Missouri. Trying to get things going with Pennington and Ditto to follow him. 3, 4, and 5 in the Central Missouri order.
Mules have stranded 5 today. 3 of those 5 were in the 1st inning with bases loaded.
2-1 pitch hit off the end of the bat towards second for Mellett. 1 up, 1 down for the Mules here in the 8th. That's 9 in a row retired by Broderson since he came in.
Yeah, so now he has seen every Mule. First man he faced was Garrett Pennington, now returning to the plate in the 8th.
By the way, Andrew Motzinger came on as a pinch runner. He is now in right field for Wingate after that pinch hitting move of Carraway leaving for Chapman, who delivered the RBI double. Here's Garrett Pennington, 0 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch. Popped to short and struck out. First pitch to him. Fouled out of play right side, 0-1. David Nash has been throwing a lot in the bullpen. A man who threw a complete game the other day.
Well, somehow we got to the point where we're already in position to counting outs. Already here in the 8th inning. And the Mules want to get some of this work done here this inning rather than leave it all up to the 9th.
0-2 now to Pennington. Well, this Mules team, they can put up runs. You can't take anything for granted against them. And all they need is 1 base runner, and they have the tying run at the plate. Ditto waiting on deck. Broderson likes the sign from McNeely. 0-2 to Pennington. Outside and low with a fastball at 91. It's 1-2. We've had dark clouds over us most of this game. Fortunately, no precipitation. And a big crowd enjoying this one at the USA Baseball National Training Complex. Cary, North Carolina, the site all week. That's fouled out of play on the right side. Remains 1-2. Our gracious hosts have done a wonderful job. And it took us a while to get it down to these 2 teams. In fact, we didn't know who would be playing in the championship game until after we completed the Central Missouri Tampa game earlier today.
Yeah, we still had 3 teams playing baseball today. There was a chance with the format we could have been down to 2 yesterday.
1-2 to Pennington, foul back. He stays alive at 1-2. We had a tight game earlier with Central Missouri winning 3-1.
That would end the reign of Tampa.
The Mules, they came off a game against Tampa where they only had 5 hits and lost. They only have 5 hits in this game. And 3 errors have been costly for the Mules. The 1-2, way high with a fastball. 2-2 to Pennington. So all of the Mules' runs came in the 4th. And once Broderson got in this game, he has just shut the door. Big gap in left center for Pennington, the center fielder guy playing over towards right center, not playing very deep either. Now he's moving over. Now he's playing straight away, and the pitch is high for a ball, 3-2. I don't know what makes him move over all of a sudden, but he decided that he didn't want to play out in right center anymore.
Our guy Tut's headset, the volume may be up a little too loud. Might be able to hear.
Maybe that was it.
Might be able to hear some of our talking leaking through.
Pennington with a full count. Broderson deals. Hit in the air, right field line. Motzinger in the corner going back, coming over, and it goes out of play. Boy, that ball was hit deep enough that you wondered if it might go out of the ballpark near the 330 line, but it kept drifting and going out of play.
Yeah, had the distance, but a little late.
330 marker out there in this symmetrical ballpark. 330 down both lines, 400 straightaway center. So it's still 3-2. This is going to be the 9th pitch of this at bat to Pennington. What a battle here with 1 out and nobody on. Payoff pitch. Curveball, swing and a miss, strike 3. He got him with that breaking ball. And that is out number 2. 3rd strikeout for Broderson, who has retired all 10 that he has faced.
Sam Broderson again entering this ball game back in the 5th. Pitching a perfect game in relief. Now just needs 4 outs along with these Bulldogs to maintain a lead and to capture a title.
He's thrown 40 pitches out of the bullpen, 9 to Pennington there. Here's Ditto, takes outside 1-0. Ditto 0 for 1. He's lined into a double play. He's walked twice and scored a run. He made a couple of errors in a row back in the 3rd inning defensively. 5-3 Wingate, top of the 8th. Broderson has been magnificent in this game. Fly ball right field. Motzinger under control. A 1-2-3 inning for Broderson. He's retired all 11 that he has faced. And Wingate 3 outs away from a national championship as they come. Great crowd here for the national championship game, and the Wingate fans on the first base side, they have been going crazy rooting for their team. They're 3 outs away from winning the title. And first, Wingate will come to bat in the bottom of the 8th inning with the 2-run lead, and they'll face the closer for Central Missouri, Evan Rathburn, who got the save earlier today to get the Mules to the championship game when they beat Tampa.
Yeah, twice they've handed him the ball in the 9th inning, once in a non-save situation with a 4-run lead. More recently with that narrow edge over Tampa for the official save earlier today. Right now, they just are desperate for him to keep this a 2-run deficit, as they may just have 3 outs to overcome whatever that deficit may be come the top of the 9th.
He's got a 1.19 ERA on the season. They'll face Guy, Mellett, and Dansky, 9-1-2 in the order for Wingate. Justin Guy 0 for 2. He has been hit by a pitch, and he bluffs a bunt, takes a ball, 1-0. In the 9th inning, it's Evans, Madera, and Van Bruce again. 6, 7, and 8 in the order due up for Central Missouri.
Bulldogs, after trailing 3-2 heading into the bottom of the 5th, have scored 3 unanswered to reclaim the lead and tack on an insurance run.
Called strike there, 1-1 the count. And Broderson, he's thrown 42 pitches, but there's no way you're taking him out after he's retired all 11 that he has faced out of the bullpen for Wingate in this game. And it's been like that for the Bulldogs. They've had some heroic pitching performances in this tournament.
And Wingate fans know what Broderson has, but if you were just here in Cary as a neutral observer, you saw him go 1 1/3 total innings over 3 appearances with an ERA of 13.5. I think he's back to more appropriate sample size.
He has really stepped up in this game. His bouncing ball is fouled by a guy, 1-2 the count. You know, he came in the 5th inning, got the strikeout with a runner on, then got that double play on the liner, and he's just taking it from there. Meanwhile, Central Missouri, as far as their pitching is concerned, they've been able to keep themselves in the game. I mean, Dreyer did a decent job. He gave up that 1 run in the 7th, but I mean, Gavin, no runs in 1 inning. So their pitching has been pretty decent in this game, just not as good as what we've seen from Broderson.
As an aside, I think the sun is shining the brightest it has all day during this game.
Yeah. 1-2 the count to Guy. The pitch. Bouncing ball hit off the plate towards short. Madera charges, has to hurry. He got him. 1 away.
We've seen some balls take a slow skip through the infield. Madera had to charge that one, but once he got to it, knew that he had the arm for the first down.
Now McCann Mellett. 1 for 3, a single, a walk, 2 runs scored for the leadoff hitter.
Any more insurance they can provide the bullpen and Broderson would be appreciated.
Called strike, 0-1. The Southeast Region champs Wingate, number 6 seed, trying to win their first ever baseball national championship in their first trip to the D2 championship. The 0-1 foul back to the screen, and it's 0-2.
And well, again, Evan Rathburn, the 5th pitcher already used in this game for the Mules. Kyle Crooks has not been shy all week long in these games for Central Missouri of bringing in new pitchers.
Well, you could say that it's been a team effort for both of these clubs to get here to the championship game. A swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a fastball at 92, and that is out number 2. So Rathburn gets his first strikeout.
Just need one more out, and then your Mules bring their bats to the plate, trailing by just 2 in the top of the 9th.
Michael Dansky, 1 for 3, a single. He's made a couple of really nice plays over at third base. Ground ball, second base for Ditto. And that'll do it for Wingate in the 8th. They go down 1-2-3. The Bulldogs 3 outs away from a national championship. Evans, Madera, and Van Bruce can stand in the way in Cary, North Carolina as we go to the 9th. 5-3, Wingate leading. The Wingate Bulldogs in their first trip to the Division II Baseball Championship, 3 outs away from their first ever national championship. Their fans coming from about 128 miles away from their campus at Wingate to here in Cary, North Carolina. And they've got a freshman on the mound to try to finish it off. Sam Broderson, who has retired all 11 that he has faced in this game, facing Micah Evans, who fouls it back out of play. 0-1. What a performance so far by Broderson.
6, 7, and 8 hitters due up. This is part of the stretch that came through in the 4th inning and was able to help mount the comeback at the time.
Evans takes, and fastball misses high. 1-1. 44 pitches out of the bullpen for Broderson. When does he run out of gas? Not sure. They do have action in their bullpen. They have a couple of right-handers throwing. 1-1 to Micah Evans, who's 0 for 3 today. And a called strike on the outside corner, 1-2. Tommy McCollum is now throwing in the bullpen, joining David Nash. We saw McCollum close out the game the other day. And he was throwing a blazing fastball. 1-2 to Evans, breaking ball down and away. 2-2 to Micah Evans. Broderson doesn't want to see any other relief pitchers. He wants to finish this off. Broderson working out of the stretch. Neely put down the sign, the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He got him with a fastball, and that is out number 1 on the 4th strikeout by Broderson. All 12 retired by the freshman now.
Well, Evans has been a tough out, but 0 for 4 in this championship game.
A perfect 4 1/3 innings so far for Broderson. Alex Madera trying to get on to bring the potential tying run to the plate. 5-3 Wingate, top of the 9th. Madera an RBI double earlier and scored a run. Swings and fouls it back to the screen, 0-1.
Again, we talk about what these guys do with their bats, but you just think of the runs sometimes they save with their defensive plays. Madera certainly falls into that category.
Yeah, he's made some really nice plays in this tournament. 0-1 pitch, just outside with a fastball, 1-1. He made a great play in the second inning of this game defensively. Now he's just trying to get on to give the Mules a chance. Brennan Van Bruce again is on deck. 1-1 to Madera. Breaking ball in the dirt, 2-1. This crowd gets really loud when good things happen for Wingate, but in between pitches, it can be pretty quiet out there sometimes.
Whether you are leading by 2 or trailing by 2 in the national championship, there are still some nerves.
2 balls, 1 strike to Madera. Broderson ready, and he deals. Ground ball, second base. Mellett gobbles it up. 2 down. So now the Bulldogs 1 out away from being national champs. Brennan Van Bruce again stands in the way. 1 for 3 RBI single. A guy who hasn't played that much this year. We'll see what he does here.
This is their 5th game in 5 days after losing their first ever contest here in Cary on Sunday. They're looking to end the season on a 5-game winning streak.
Broderson looking to go 5 perfect innings to close it out. First pitch, fouled straight back, 0-1. He has just been magnificent out of the bullpen after Dula started. The Bulldogs taking the lead with 2 in the 5th. They added a run in the 7th. They lead by 2 here. 2 down, nobody on. Van Bruce again, waiting for Broderson. 0-1 pitch. Fastball right down the middle, called strike. And the Bulldogs are 1 strike away. Van Bruce again back in. Broderson ready. 0-2 pitch. Foul ball at the plate. Came back and got McNeely. Home plate umpire Ray Chamberlain saying, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah, I think I am. I'm a little stunned right now."
So you have every single fan cheering on blue and gold with their cell phone out, trying to document the moment, while every single fan from Missouri in red on their seat, just hoping to get a runner on somehow. I suspect if they can, then all of a sudden they're on their feet, and when they would have the tying run coming to the plate.
Scott Wolverton waiting on deck, hoping for that chance. 2 down, nobody on. Broderson, 0-2 pitch. Outside with the fastball at 93, 1-2. Nobody has reached base since a single in the 5th inning for Central Missouri by Dusty Stroop. That's when Broderson took over, and he's retired all 13. Van Bruce again. Stepped out, now back in. Outfield straight away. 1-2 pitch. Fouled straight back. He stays alive at 1-2. Keeps the Mules' hopes alive. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors for Wingate. 3 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors. They were costly. They all happened in the 3rd inning, back to back to back for Central Missouri. 1-2 the count to Van Bruce again with 2 down, nobody on. Broderson looking for that final strike. And that breaking ball in the dirt blocked by McNeely. 2-2.
At some point, you let that defense behind you help you out.
Broderson moving the ball around in his pitching hand. He comes set, ready for the 2-2 to Van Bruce again. Here it is. Fastball outside, 3-2.
Worst thing Van Bruce can do right now is cut this deficit in half.
He's had a patient at bat. He's fouled off a couple of pitches with 2 strikes. He's done a great job so far in this at bat. 2 down, nobody on. Here in the 9th inning. Ready for the 3-2 to Van Bruce again. Checks his swing. It missed outside, ball 4. And Central Missouri will send the potential tying run to the plate in Scott Wolverton.
Oh.
That breaks the string of 13 in a row retired by Broderson.
Broderson fell into the trap there of just wanting to get the strikeout for the punctuation, while his defense behind him has helped him get through this perfect relief performance. Now for the first time, you've got the tying run coming to the plate with Wolverton. A solid bat for Central Missouri.
0 for 1 today, but he has a batting average close to 400. Swing and a miss. Went after the high fastball, 0-1. Got 6 home runs this year. If he goes deep here, he ties the game.
Now you've brought the Central Missouri fans a little more back into this. They're wondering if Wolverton can tie this up.
He did not start this game. Came on in the middle of it. There goes the runner. Called strike. Throw to second by McNeely. The slide. Safe. Boy, that could have ended it right there. But Van Bruce again steals second. I'm not sure why he's doing that. I mean, that run doesn't mean anything. It's the runner at the plate.
You're absolutely right in that sense that you want that run eventually to score, but you don't gamble with it because it's not the one that extends this lead or extends this ball game.
Unless you're going to just be safe by a mile, which he wasn't. 0-2 to Wolverton. 1 strike away again is Broderson. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Ball game over. Wingate wins the national championship. The Bulldogs win for the first time in their history. What a celebration for Wingate. They had never been here before. They lost their first game and they run off 5 consecutive victories to win the national championship. And what a job by Sam Broderson to get the strikeout there to finish it off as he pitches 5 scoreless innings, no hits allowed.
They suited up for their first game on Sunday, faced 3-seed Angelo State. Promptly were headed to the elimination bracket, and despite having the shortest trip here with regards to 132 miles, it looked like they were going to have a quick stay and head back home. But then they decided to string a 4-game win streak together in 4 days to advance to this championship contest. Could they make it 5 in a row? They did. What a national championship run. Every year is unique as we watch these different teams. But what a journey for Wingate, fighting off elimination for 5 straight days, each time coming out on top. But Joe, this win doesn't buy them another game. Instead, they're going to have to settle for a national championship trophy.
Wow. The 16th ranked team in the country just beat the number 1 ranked team in the country. The number 6 seed beating the number 1 seed. And this is the first time since 2005 that a team loses the opener and then makes the run all the way to win the national championship. Florida Southern did it in 2005. It's only happened 3 times before in the 18 format. It happens again, so you don't give up. That's the lesson here. If you're Wingate, you lose your first game like they did, and you just don't give up. You lose to Angelo State, and you have to beat them twice later, and they did in dramatic fashion. I mean, think about that 3.5-hour rain delay. They win after that, and then they go extra innings to beat Angelo State. They win it in 11 innings in that game yesterday. That was a crazy game, and then this was a tight one as well. They had to come back, too, because they were trailing in this one 3-2, but they came up with a 2 in the 5th, another run in the 7th. They had that pinch hit double by a hitter who doesn't play hardly at all, and Chapman, he delivers an RBI double. This was a complete team effort. Great pitching. I mean, they had depth in their pitching staff, and they get it done.
Well, in that last statement right there are guys we did not see today on the diamond, but they did their part in the elimination bracket, coming out with quality starts, going 7 innings or longer to help buy this Bulldog squad the opportunity to play for the national championship.
Yeah, I mean, pitchers like David Nash, who threw a complete game, Brody McCullough, Tommy McCollum came out of the bullpen the other day, and how about Broderson finishing it right there with the fastball, throws his glove, and it's celebration time after that. The freshman, Broderson, what a performance. I mean, 5 innings of scoreless, hitless baseball, and he's at the bottom of that pile.
It took just 2 pitchers to combine for this effort for Wingate today. Timely hitting, and that is a championship dog pile.
Broderson, one of the heroes, but I mean, really a big-time hero in this championship game. But again, it took everybody to get it done for the Wingate Bulldogs. Their fans so excited. They packed this ballpark today, and they got to enjoy a national championship. The only other one they had won in school history was the men's soccer team in 2016. Now add the 2021 Wingate baseball team to the list.
Yeah, I got to be there in Kansas City to see soccer with that memorable run. But I don't know if even an undefeated season, when people have that expectation for you, compares to what we just witnessed with this group of underdogs, now champions.
Great job by Coach Jeff Gregory. We mentioned some of the legacy players. We saw Garrett Christopher get a couple of hits in an RBI today. You know, his dad was a legendary coach. They've named the stadium after Ron Christopher. We even mentioned David Nash throwing a complete game, and his dad, he was also a head coach at Wingate. So you have these legacy players, and those guys really contributed just all the way through, and now they're wearing the championship hats, and they've got the championship trophy. And it's just hard to believe maybe for some people, but not these guys. They probably believed all the way through when they swept through the Southeast Regional, and then they get it done here. I guess they just never doubted themselves after they lost that first game.
There are 3 national championship trophies from the 1960s, back when they were a junior college, that will now have a new roommate in that showcase about 2 hours from here. So we're going to go ahead and, I believe, step aside while letting folks still continue to stream and listen into the final awards ceremony, as ultimately we won't spoil some of the outcomes, but some well-deserved individual honors along with the team title coming up.
So we'll wrap it up after that. So enjoy the championship celebration here. Again, your final score in the national championship game: Wingate 5, Central Missouri 3. The celebration is on for the Bulldogs.
Garrett Pennington. Garrett Webb. From Wingate. Finishing with a record of 46-8. The Mules lead the University of Minnesota. Dreyer. Evans. Brady Gavin. Colin Jones. Boomer. Garrett Pennington. Scott Wolverton. Congratulations to the University of Central Minnesota. 2021 NCAA Division II Baseball National Champions finishing with a record of 36-13. The Bulldogs of Wingate University. Justin Guy. Carson Simpson. Webb. Nash. Jed Bryant. Mckay. Garrett Christopher. Assistant coach Ben Curry. Assistant coach Jed Bryant. Assistant coach Justin White. Head coach Jed Bryant. Of the National Championship Trophy goes to the Wingate University Bulldogs.
Well, congratulations to the Wingate Bulldogs, the 2021 Division II Baseball National Champions, their first ever title, and the most outstanding players, Logan McNeely from the Bulldogs. What a great tournament for him, both as the catcher and at the plate. He came up with a lot of hits, the most hits of anybody here, 12 of them, and had the clutch RBI single in the 5th inning. So Wingate, they lose their first game, they win 5 in a row. That was dramatic, Lincoln. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, congratulations all tournament team honorees, Mckay and Mellett, along with, of course, David Nash after his complete game earlier this week, and Brody McCullough, fantastic as well, along with Logan. Of course, Central Missouri well represented, Mason Green with his couple of starts this week, along with Eric Webb and Garrett Pennington, all recognized as well. Years from now, Central Missouri will be able to appreciate the season they had but these guys will have the trophy to always point to when baseball returned to Cary for a national championship here in 2021.
Yeah, we were really glad that it did return after a year off, and I want to thank everybody who helped us this week, the staff from Mount Olive. Great job by our entire crew. For Lincoln Rose, I'm Joe Castellano. Again, congratulations to Wingate winning the national championship for the first time ever.